Hello. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Hello. Welcome. Yes, welcome to episode 74, finally, of the Chronicles of Nidum, run by us here at Dice of the Beholder on the ever-accommodating, hard-working, heavyweight RPG. Yes, we're back.
We're back.
Whoop, whoop. But I need a moment to get that
You need a moment?
Yeah, I need a moment to get that stupid song out of my head. Thank you, Greg.
Chronicles of Nidum moment.
But yes, before we get into it, before I bring half the crew up on screen at the moment, before we get into it, again, as always, a word about our sponsors. All of Dice of the Beholders...
Doritos.
All of Dice of the Beholders Dungeons & Dragons content is sponsored by the amazing team over at Loki Battle Mats. That's Loke. They are a award-winning UK-based TTRPG accessory creator. There are many books of battle mats, little, big, giant sizes, and their modular book sets are full of awesome artwork that add amazing backdrop to any tabletop game. If you are interested in finding out more, obviously search Loki Battle Mats on Facebook or visit lokibattlemats.com. You can see the link in the chat. Or Drive Through RPG, where you can view their amazing artwork and shop their physical and digital maps. Our second sponsor, as always, is the amazing, wonderful Blink Dog Dice. Small dice maker based in Cardiff. You can see awesome and amazing examples of their artwork, all available on their Etsy store. If you check out on their Facebook and I think their Instagram right now, they have some fantastic examples of some new sets that I think are going to go up very soon. Loving the sparkle and the colour. I don't know what colour it is, but I know I like it. So just search...
I don't know colours, but I know what I like.
Exactly. Yeah. Please search Blink Dog Dice, all one word, or click on the link in chat. You can find them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the same goes for Etsy as well. Please go show them some love and buy as many sets of dice as you possibly can.
Buy more sets of dice than you possibly can. Yes. Bankrupt yourself buying dice.
Well, not more than you possibly can.
No, yeah, more.
There is.
Put yourself into severe debt. Take out a payday loan and buy more dice.
Yeah, don't do that.
Severe credit card.
Don't do that. As always, as well, just a quick shout out, Sirenscape, who provide amazing ambience for our streams, and they can, if you want to, for yours too. Please go check out sirenscape.com, SYRIN, because obviously epic games need epic sound. And now, for...
It's time to sing the music.
Please stop. Hello, everyone's on screen.
Empty chairs and empty tables, now my friends are dead and gone.
I hate you. It's my favourite song from Les Mis. Why did you ever do that to me?
Because it's fun.
Hi, everyone. Yes, everyone's here. Hello.
I want somebody to do it to a little fall of rain. Oh no. Just an upbeat version of that.
Maybe you're going to make Bright commit a crime.
I will take inspiration away from Quill.
You can't take inspiration away, that's not how that works.
Absolutely is, I'm the DM.
It's... No, you may not.
I've got so much inspiration. I've been banking that inspiration.
Okay, so, last time on the Chronicles of Nidum, if anyone can remember.
Nope, not a fucking clue.
Cool.
Found out Rosette was dead.
Yeah.
Last time on the Chronicles of Nidum, a quick and impromptu reconnaissance mission to the mansion of the Inquisitor, or the High Inquisitor, by Quill and Oriana. A few secrets were divulged. Firstly, you find out that Rosette had perished on her journey to Paras with the High Inquisitor, and you, Oriana, personally had something of a vision, an epiphany about the elves in Paras, the High Inquisitor especially, seeing through the beautiful or handsome illusion that they presented to the mortal world. You saw with the eyes of the grave the patron's gift that Hades had given you, and discovered that under this facade was some horrid, undead type creature. The elves were being slowly withered by something.
They ugly.
UGLY, they got no alibi.
They're ugly.
You made Millie run away. But no, you returned to your friends, and upon returning to the hotel, discovered that the prince was asking for a meeting with you, which you arranged to have in the restaurant in the hotel. Making yourself ready, everyone else left. Dice getting a lovely tattoo. Did Ace get one as well?
Yep.
Ace got one as well.
Yep.
And
They've got a protection symbol on
that's
their back.
right. I remember now. And after your beautiful tattoos are completed, you all decided, well, at the beck and call of Oriana through a message spell, you were called back to the hotel to meet Oriana in the rear alley of the hotel, as it was currently under siege from both the Prince's Guard and the Inquisition itself. You returned, discovered a carriage waiting for you, which Oriana then ceremoniously landed on. It tried to quickly spirit you away from the hotel, but not before you discovered you were being followed by one of the gargoyles that Oriana had previously noticed living or situated atop the Inquisitor's mansion. A very quick, I'm getting used to this, some very quick thinking from Dice led to a dispel magic being cast on the gargoyle's bracers. Suddenly freed of the Inquisition's hold on it, the gargoyle killed an Inquisition assassin, allowing you all to escape in safety to a distant gladiator school, where, strangely enough, you were welcomed with open arms, possibly because they were warned of your arrival. You met Dom, the second in command of Apolliteus's gladiator school, and after signing some paperwork and confirming that, with the proviso that you would be absolved of all crimes committed against the Empire, you signed your names on the contract and became gladiators.
What?
You then
I should
went...
really watch this back while I've been asleep. What the hell did you guys do?
You were then shown to your rooms, and after a very eventful night, all chose to go to sleep without much conversation, waiting until the next day to work out exactly what was going on with your futures.
So let me just get this right, because I wasn't here for the second half last time.
Mm-hmm.
So did I actually meet up with the prince at all?
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh, I thought she did.
No. As
No.
the prince arrived,
Ah.
so did the forces of the Inquisition looking for you and your friends.
Right.
The argument that they had, or the Inquisition forces and the Prince's Guard, the argument that they were having on the on the steps of the hotel delayed the Inquisition long enough that that allowed you to get away in the carriage. Jesus Christ.
Right. So
How
is
you
the
doing there,
prince
bud?
aware of what's happened?
Hmm?
Is the prince aware of what's happened?
You are not sure.
Right.
However,
Okay.
the Prince's Guard seem to be putting up more of a fight to not let the Inquisitors in than they normally would.
You know why you're choking, don't you? Because you're drinking from Sepsis's cup.
It's poisoned.
Poison.
That's maybe a big mistake.
Sepsis is poison. Poison. The sepsis.
Good
Yes.
poison chose specifically to kill by
Honestly, I leave
sepsis.
you guys for one evening and you get us turned into gladiators.
That already happened. You
We
get
have
over
no
it.
control over this.
But yes, as you all wake then the next morning to the sounds of a busy compound outside, the sun beaming in through windows surrounding you. What would you like to do? You all wake up in basically the same room.
I miss our hotel room.
Yeah, you are now basically sleeping on, like, platters. There's a pillow each kind of thing. There's a very, very thin, threadbare kind of mattress under each of you. It doesn't smell as bad as the rest of the compound did when you first entered. But you remember from the previous night, driving, this is on the outskirts of this section of the city. This is the furthest away you can get from the richer environments or richer sectors. All of the other gladiator schools you passed were in much better states of repair than this.
We've slept in worse places.
Also, this is the fancy room. We made a donation. They gave us the fanciest quarters.
Mm-hmm.
I have not slept in worse places. Just to be 100% clear.
Let this be a learning experience.
A humbling experience for you.
How did
I don't believe that I need to be humbled.
the Inquisition know we were there?
It's a good question.
I would say a rat. But
Well-
I'm not sure who.
I suspect because they said... Right, remind me what they said about Quill's cousin, because I don't know how to word this without remembering the wording.
The concierge of the hotel confirmed to you that the reason the Inquisition were trying to gain entrance into the hotel that evening was to find some perpetrators of a great crime against a friend of the Empire. And you discovered that Quill's cousin... they were being accused of the murder of Quill's cousin, Busyclaw, and the kidnapping of Quickfang.
Wasn't worded quite that simply, but yes, that was the gist.
Great.
I suspect they learnt it from your cousin.
Perhaps we should have killed that guy.
Probably.
Look, it's hard to kill family, I
mean,
would
at least
imagine.
we would have actually been guilty of the crime then.
It's, it would have been easier than you may have thought.
So
He's
when
not my favourite cousin.
I've never had a cousin that I'm aware of.
Well, I wish you much better luck in that department than mine.
Hey, one of your cousins is great.
One of my cousins is fantastic.
And safe, more importantly.
I hope.
I hope so too.
do we know when we're fighting?
No, I think we're going to be assessed by Apoliteus.
Yeah, and go through some training.
Okay,
Apoliteus was unavailable last night to speak to,
of course.
so we got the very large lady.
She was nice.
Yeah, Charles, the second in command of the school that you met, Dom, is a 7 foot tall and wide woman, like heavily, like rippling with muscle, from the frozen wastes of the northeast. Very thick accent. Ace couldn't really say much.
There
The
were
presence.
There were fully 2 different garden path sentences in there. Like, at first I thought you were going to say, you know, that she was rippling with muscle from the frozen waste to the, you know, to the north or whatever you were.
Oh god.
It's I thought you were being very flowery about it.
From the frozen waste to
Very
the
Milton.
far north.
The far nibbling north.
At that moment,
To the pokey north.
there is a knock at the door. A large, heavy, thudding sound before the
Swing the door
door.
open.
Even before you touch the door, it is swung open, without the person knocking, waiting for an answer, and crouching under the door frame and stepping into the room, making the room feel much smaller almost immediately, is Dom.
Morning.
Dom.
Good morning.
Zdravstvuyte. You are awake.
It
That
seems
is
so,
correct.
yes.
It'd be very weird if we were talking to you while asleep.
It would not be first time. For breakfast, come.
Breakfast! And I will follow with, like, very happy little gallopy steps.
Like a golden retriever.
Very much so. Dice is starving. Missed dinner last night. Really hungry.
She walks you out into the courtyard, maybe 30 feet away, out in the morning sun. Now stand about 20 humans, both male and female. They are currently standing all arrayed in 2 lines, going through some quite, as you understand, practiced morning stretches, and walking up and down the lines behind them, correcting some of the stretches, complimenting others. You can see the Jackalkin that you met previously. He is much quieter, much more discerning eye. Walking up the other end, fully clothed now in a much nicer costume than you have seen them before, is One. And when they see you walk out into the morning sun, being led by Dom, One kind of breaks their very stoic look and smiles and gives a short wave at everyone before going back and correcting one of the women there on how they're stretching and helping them get it right. Dom
Looks really happy.
Dom continues to lead you over to some tables. You can see a couple of people clearing them, putting more bowls down in preparation for your arrival. And as Dom sits, you audibly hear the bench creak underneath her.
Ace is reminded of Pa.
Come.
I would like to assess the bench for strength to make sure that if I sit down too, it's not just going to break.
All right, roll me a perception check.
So I've been playing too many ridiculous games clearly recently. I just want to be sort of standing there eyeing it, like perception check 19. Blink dog dice, people.
You are worried about what any added weight would do to the bench.
Go sit on the other side
Okay.
quietly.
I sit on the same side.
Okay.
Oh Christ!
It does creak and seems to lower even further into the hard-packed kind of sand below it, but doesn't quite break. It feels like it's swaying very slightly, but it holds you. So, you do not have to speak of reason you have signed up. However,
Wanted
please,
criminals.
blood. I like you. You do not
Actually-
have to tell what you are wanted for.
Technically, a bunch of things, most of which we didn't do.
Yeah, most of it
slander.
is fictional.
I don't think that I've done anything.
You helped us free humans.
I don't think that's true, is it, Quill?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Anyway, yes, we've done some. Some of it we did, some of it we didn't do. Some of it is entirely spurious. So we're here.
This
But if anyone asks, we didn't do any of it, actually.
well, it does not matter anymore. You have put pen to paper, signed your life away. So, the rules. If you stay, you fight in games, you entertain crowd, you put on good show, survive, you are free and unable to be prosecuted for previous crime. However, any crime you commit since signing paper, you will be executed.
Sweet.
If you
I
try
mean-
to escape and discovered, executed.
Technically, if they got hold of us now, regardless of whether we'd signed the paper or not, we would probably be executed, or at least they would try. This is very little change for us.
But the Prince's Guard enforce rules, enforce law. The Prince's Guard are also on your side. They are very fair. Not like other Emperor Guard. Prince's Guard keep peace. The Prince wishes to see fairness. If you have agreed to terms, you are safe. Guarded by them also.
I can guarantee if the other guards got hold of us first, regardless of what we'd signed or where we were, the Prince's law would mean very little.
Then Prince will avenge your death.
Very comforting, thank you.
That.
So when's our first fight?
Not for another week.
Got some
How
time
long have
for
we been
training.
in Paras?
How long have you been in Paris?
Yeah.
Now, maybe about... Since you got here, you've done quite a bit. Maybe about a week, week and a half.
Shit. Okay. Supposed to meet Jairus at the end of this week.
So,
So,
now we will assess what you can do. What kind of skills you have. Who are you?
I would really enjoy that. How do we be assessed? What do we do?
No, I am asking what kind of skills you have. What do
I
you
just
do?
set my hands on fire.
Ah. Pretty. Useful, possibly.
I make my armor go up over my head and sort of form a full suit of armor on the outside of my clothes, and then make my hands crackle with lightning.
Okay.
Something like this.
Very nice. Armor seems good, well made. Can take
Sneaky armor.
can take hits. Yes.
I can make it bigger.
Impressive. As big as me.
Right? I have no idea. Can I make itself bigger?
When you go
I just
into
need my head inside it.
when you go into the Guardian armor, you are, for all intents and purposes, bigger. You do get taller. Not that much, but you do
gonna
get
say.
much chunkier.
I don't think I would ever quite reach your stature, but certainly larger than it is now.
She glances over at Ace. And you. Strong arms. Warhammer.
Yeah.
You fight.
Yeah, I wouldn't really be able to show you much at the table.
There will be time for display later. And what about you, furry one?
I fight. I know a little magic. I can make myself very hard to hit. I'm an entertainer sometimes.
All of these things a good gladiator needs to win over a crowd and stay alive. But,
I hope I don't disappoint.
well, one of the most important things I can possibly tell you, and this is so important you must never forget this. At that moment, a loud trumpeting
Very funny.
is heard, especially by Charlie, who has Sirenscape open. A loud trumpeting is heard from the direction of the main gates.
There is some fanfare.
For those who aren't Welsh, he means heard.
It's weird that, like, in Wales, people say heard where they don't say ear or hear, they say yer.
Yeah.
The word that actually rhymes
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the word
Yeah.
that actually rhymes with yer, they pronounce heerd.
It is baffling.
Yeah,
Mind
yeah,
boggles.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm just
my
taking
favourite
this out.
Welshism.
Anyway,
mainly Christmas
who
season.
who comes in for the fanfare?
Yeah, tell us the whole story.
Hool. As you look towards the gates, there is a lot of foot traffic going on outside. A crowd that seems to be following two large carriages that are flanked on both sides by men in very different livery. Your view is somewhat blocked by the walls surrounding the compound. But Dom rises from the bench. I will go and find out what this is. And walks off towards the gates. She steps out through them. After a minute or two of waiting, Dom steps back through, closing the gate behind her with a very confused look on her face. Steps back over, points at Dice. Oriana.
Dice.
Yes?
They pointed at you.
What, and said Oriana?
Oriana?
Obviously not, if you've ever heard the physical description.
Oh.
It's me.
Sorry, I had pizza.
This has never happened previous, but the prince, the absent prince is here, asking
Oh, right.
for you.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, totally scans.
All of us are like, yeah.
Should I just go over?
Also, I believe High Inquisitor is here, seeking all of you.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
no.
No.
that tracks as well. I think. Could you ask him to leave? We're actually very busy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are unavailable to meet with the High Inquisitor, but the Prince would be welcome. Could he come into the compound, perhaps?
Of course,
I'll
Prince
go over.
owns compound. We are
Great.
we are loaning from Prince.
High Inquisitor, though. Nah.
Prince in? High Inquisitor,
No,
we're not
thank you.
available.
We,
High Inquisitor could have an accident with a sharp weapon.
we had a prior engagement.
We're already dead. Whatever.
Unfortunately, I cannot refuse High Inquisitor entry, but
Can't
he
or
can.
won't.
Well, by law, I cannot.
We wouldn't want you to get in trouble, John. John? John.
John.
I called you
It's
John.
fine.
Listen, John boy, why don't you go fetch the?
Listen here, Johnny.
I believe High Inquisitor
John
will
the
be delayed until Prince leaves.
How unfortunate for him. It would be interesting to have them see us at the same time.
I will fetch Prince. Oriana, you can use office.
Thank
And
you.
she points at one of the nicest, better repaired doors into the main building, out of the courtyard.
I head
Ari's
over
got a boyfriend. Ari's got.
I
Don't
head
do
over
that.
and on the way I whack Quill across the back of the head.
Roll for damage.
I think you have to roll to hit first.
As
Don't
after
test me, I
striking
will.
Quill and making your way into the office, 2 minutes later, the door opens, and striding in comes the prince. He looks quite calm, turns. Merci, madame. It is a beautiful office you have. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Please tell Proletaires when he returns. I am very happy with his people and the way they conduct themselves and the great repairs they have made to this very seldom used gladiator school. Merci. I can see you are all doing very well. I saw some of your people stretching and training in the courtyard. I'm very much looking forward to their performances. And Dom just kind of nods. Duh. Very uncomfortable, seemingly speaking to aristocracy, and just kind of, without asking for leave to do so, steps out of the room and just closes the door behind her. The prince turns around and immediately all sense of calmness disappears from his face, and he looks stressed and, more than anything, worried. He rushes forward with his hands outstretched, but before he actually gets close to you, stops himself and kind of just holds his hands in front of him. Oriana, it is... I am pleased to see you looking so well this morning. I apologize about having to cancel our dinner yesterday evening. Are you well?
As I can be. Admittedly, the accommodation here isn't as nice as what I have gotten used to at the hotel, but
I
I have dealt with worse.
As have I. I've slept in much worse. The tavern, the Broken Scimitar, it has some nicer rooms, some almost as nice as this office. When people tend to defeat me in bare knuckle boxing, I have found myself waking up in some of those rooms. I am sorry that I prompted you all to, or suggested to the concierge that he tell you all to come here. It was the only way I could think of keeping you out of the clutches of the Inquisition.
It was a good shout. It probably is the safest place for us to be right now while that complete lunatic is looking for us. Although he has found us, he just can't do anything about it.
Well, there is possibly nothing that will stop him from trying, which is why I will leave on the pretense that I will be doing it for all of the other schools also. I will leave some of my guard to patrol outside the grounds and make sure that none of his people try and enter.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
The man is obsessed.
Does he know who you are?
I think he has a very strong idea.
Have you met?
Well, I had a different face.
Ah.
And a different colour.
It is strange. I do not know why the Inquisition is so hell-bent on capturing you, but it is only now that I have realized the bounty is much higher recently.
He's obsessed with tieflings, for starters. I mean, look at his home.
I do not know what you mean.
Have you not seen the tiefling statues on his home?
I do not have much dealings with the High Inquisitor. The Grand Inquisitor is the liaison for the Inquisition to the court. He is an old friend of the family. He's my little brother's main tutor and has been a close friend during our father's ill health.
We also may have been sticking our noses into his business and learned some things that he probably doesn't want being made public.
Such as?
What they use the humans for?
I'm sorry, I do not know what you mean.
No, I believe you. But just what the crystals do, what it does to humans, what the right elves take does to them.
I'm sorry. You will have to explain because the crystals
Do you know
are.
what a warlock is?
Oui. But
Do
many
you
of
understand
the.
how a warlock gets their powers?
I learned about it in my lessons when I was a child, but it has been
They
so
make a deal
long.
with a they make a deal with a patron.
Oui, but the links to the other planes are broken. There are very few beings of power are left in the world who can lend their power to another.
But there are some.
Are there?
I'm a patron of one myself, although I'm not bound to him in a sense that he gives me all of my powers. He's definitely blessed me.
I did not think this was still possible.
It is. Depending on where I am in the world, the connection is stronger, but the rite elves go through seems to be more taking a vow to some deity, and I don't know yet. But it's not a pleasant one.
And this has something to do with the humans, you say?
I don't know how much I can tell you that won't either get you in trouble or upset you.
Ah, anything you can tell me would be a secret. There is something. They say the reason that the rite did not take, and the reason that I am not being coronated, is because there is something wrong with my spirit. Unfortunately, that also means that my thoughts are my own. The Inquisition and their telepathic magics.
So knowing what I know now, can I roll an Arcana check to see why it might have not taken on him?
Hmm.
8. Great, yeah, thanks, 8.
An 8.
Fuck you, D&D Beyond.
Okay. Unfortunately, you can't really work out, or nothing comes to mind that, from all of your experience, that would have blocked this magic. At least in a rite that would make someone a warlock, to have blocked the magic and left that person alive, nothing really comes to mind.
I tell him everything I know then. So from like the human bodies, the creepy no eye shit, I'll tell him everything.
Okay. So as you go through then,
Like abridged.
as you go through then your knowledge of everything that has happened to you so far, the crystals growing in the mine, what kind of effect the crystals have on humans especially, what elves look like really under the facade, and looking at him in this conversation using your eyes of the grave, you notice as well that there is no trace of it on him whatsoever. The face that he shows you is the only one he has. And then as you get to the knowledge of the Inquisition's plans with the Illithid and Quill's cousin and the train that would drain the souls from humans as it passed, passing across continents in the matter of minutes, you can see his face become, first of all, quite stern, disbelieving, but then the more you go on, the more detail you remember, the more you talk him round, and by the end of it, he looks horrified. It is...
It's a lot.
it is impossible that things like this could be going on in the Empire without us. And he kind of pauses. I suppose it is not impossible at all, though Inquisition
Yeah,
are in charge of everything.
They've been acting under your noses the entire time.
All knowledge we get of far and distant lands come from them. They are everywhere. They have a hand in everything. Is the High Inquisitor, you believe him to be the mastermind, or is it someone above him?
At the moment, he's our biggest suspect. We don't know if there's anyone above him that would be involved. Wouldn't surprise me if he was able to hide it from them. But I also wouldn't be surprised if there was somebody above him that was controlling all of
The
this.
only person above him that would be able to control him is the Grand Inquisitor himself. But he is a kindly old man. He has taught me how to ride a horse, and I cannot imagine this evil of him. I have a lot to think on, Oriana. Thank you for being honest with me.
It's the best I can do. Don't try not to go poking around. I don't want them to find out that you've been looking into it and suddenly the prince has an accident and I get blamed for it.
There are a great many secrets about Paras that not even the Inquisition know. A prince that has no future in the Empire is often overlooked and can become quite adept at poking around if left to his own devices.
Just don't draw any attention to yourself.
I am easily forgettable, according to most of the court. Unfortunately, I think to continue with the facade of touring the schools.
Yes, you should get a move on.
And
Oh, apparently the High Inquisitor is here to see us as well, so that's going to be interesting.
oui, he is just outside. I cannot imagine it will be a fun meeting, but as I said, I will leave
Just
some of my guard to keep the peace.
keep him out of your head. He can get in your head.
It does not work on me.
I hope so.
I am, as they used to tell me when I was a child, a freak of nature.
Well, maybe there's some other deity protecting you.
Perhaps. I will look forward to seeing you in the banquet.
Yes.
They have told you about how the games work? Oui?
We fight for entertainment. So long as we keep fighting and we win, we're free.
Oui, but there is a lot of pomp and circumstance that goes along with the fighting and the events. But the first day of fighting, you will be in, how you say, it.
Yeah.
If you succeed in your it, all of the victors are invited to a banquet in the palace, a large party, and then after the next few days, some much larger, much grander events until finally there is one group of you left. But after every day of fighting, there is a banquet in the palace. I look forward to seeing you in the party. Hopefully,
we will.
well, I hope so too, because to attend, you must survive.
We can only hope.
Well, If half of what I hear those that escaped from the horizon are capable of is true, I'm sure you will.
We'll certainly put on a show.
Before I leave, can I ask, did you all, well, you do not need to tell me the truth or not, did you all completely empty a train of a group of Inquisitors, snatch perhaps up to 300 humans from under their noses in the dead of night, disappearing them into the countryside, never to be seen again, and then ride the train straight into Paras, walking into a city that would be hunting you, as bold as brass?
I mean, we had help. But basically, yeah.
He smiles at you, and his eyes are just kind of sparkling with contained merriment. I am very much looking forward to your first display.
I will look for you in the crowd. I imagine you'll be in a box.
Oui. Au revoir, madame. Give my my blessings
Regards to Broadway.
and my regards to your companions.
I will.
And he bows.
And I just nod at him.
I am sorry about our dinner.
Another time.
Oui. And he steps out of the door.
I head back over to these guys.
Okay.
It's going to be really anticlimactic now if we die in the first round.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
As you see him leave, then, a few minutes later, the gates are opened, and flanked by 4 Inquisitors, and what looks like 6 of the Prince's Guard, in walks the Inquisitor himself.
Guys, I've suddenly become so dry, I feel I may die of dehydration.
This guy... It took me a second to get what you were saying. I want to still be laughing as he arrives at the table as though he matters. Not at all.
Yeah, Quill's adopted like a really indolent posture, like foot up on a chair, leant back about as far as it's possible to lean without actually lying down.
Question. As he walks towards you, though a couple of you have expressed probably a little bit, what are you all thinking?
Hey, look, it's a turd burger.
Just contempt. Complete contempt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm actually thinking murderous turd burger.
I just immediately start thinking about Rosette.
I'm actually just singing a song over and over again in my head. And it goes,
Don't you
Let's finish all together. Just that bit on repeat.
no.
No,
It goes,
no.
there's a grief that can't be spoken, this pain goes on and on. It's fair that today was never yesterday.
That would definitely annoy him.
We have a full TPK from.
Why do we get in trouble with this guy so often? We respect him so much.
You
Get
done?
your wisdom saving throws,
Yeah.
you guys.
Cool.
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
Okay. As he walks across the courtyard itself, he seems to be sniffing at the air with a look of confusion. And then as he stops, maybe 5 feet away from your table, his sniffing focuses. And it's almost as if he finally notices you're there. And his lips curl in disgust.
Yes, not the kind of aromas I've become accustomed to either.
He glares at you all. His vision
I'm not
pretty
even looking
much-
at him. I'm just looking at like a spot on the wall. Like
His eyes sweep with disdain over Dice and Ace. They linger a moment longer on Quill,
I'm filing my claws.
with a look of maybe interest at a new face, before settling on Oriana. Oriana, I am going to need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Yay! Don't
While Ori's doing that,
13.
You're not using it to spell dice, babe.
I'd have to get a dice tray out, and I'm scared of damaging them. Shall I use my dispel dice?
well, Charlie's
It's
sorting out a
up to
dice.
Bri if he wants to count that 13 or not.
Oh, I'll count the 13.
Yeah.
I'm happy to count the 13.
You've got something on your head. It's really annoying me. You've got like a spot on your head, and I don't know what it is, but it's really annoying me. And I just thought I had to tell you.
Who has?
Yeah, who
Right.
has not?
Bri does.
Oh, on your eyebrow.
Yeah, like above your eyebrow on your hairline, you've got like no,
Yeah, it's like glitter or something.
it's like something on your head.
Charlie, you have a
There we go.
Charlie, you have a little rattle that's coming through your microphone. I don't know what it's about, but
What, constantly or just now?
sometimes it's been for a while.
It
It
could
was
be as I'm
happening.
moving around.
Could be.
Okay.
But yeah, 13, bro.
Cool.
His DC's probably not higher than that.
Oriana, you immediately feel a sickly, cloying pressure in your mind.
Don't we get to roll with advantage with this now because we know he's always trying to do it?
It's a good question.
Not at this moment. You do see, as you look inward, you begin to see flashes of memory. You see yourself first meeting the Inquisitor back in Porthtal.
Right, can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
Is he casting this now? Like, or has he cast it before approaching us?
Cast it before approaching you.
Okay. Carry on.
Oh, were you wondering about counterspell?
I was.
Okay. So as it flashes over,
How long does this process take? Sorry.
what, the process of all of the flashing memory in Oriana's mind?
Yes.
It feels.
Is he staring?
It feels like forever, but maybe about a couple of seconds.
So I wouldn't have time to cast Dispel Magic and free her from it. I know what he does. We know this. We've seen it
You
before.
wouldn't know that it's happening to me though.
No, he's just lingering and staring at her for a couple of seconds.
And we know he's a creep, so.
In fact, he hasn't been looking at her for as long as he's
I don't mind. He
tended
can
to
look.
stare at her previously.
Just wondering if it'd be possible.
But as it flashes through every meeting and every interaction that you've had with the Inquisitor, it does then settle on the train. And it begins to settle on your meetings with Rosette. And in your mind's eye, you can almost see your reflection in Rosette's eyes of Sylvia. And then it flashes back to not your memory, but his. Almost as if he's implanting it on you, of yourself when you had bright, was it green skin? Blue skin from the wild magic. And you feel a click of realization and then a flash of anger, and the presence in your mind is gone.
I just start laughing.
So, we meet again, apparently.
Unfortunately.
Muttered Quill. God, what a cliche.
Why is he putting that voice on?
This one is new. Was not with you previously, when you looked as you did with your friends, as they were. You look familiar. Some small familial resemblance, I suppose, to an acquaintance of mine.
That you've just had murdered.
That acquaintance had the faintest whiff of the word thrall about it, or lackey, minion, co-conspirator.
Surely not.
Honestly, I was going to
future-
accuse him of saying that all tabaxi look the same, but
Future cellmate, perhaps.
Pet.
I was going for friend, visionary, pioneer.
Yes. Yeah. I suppose it would look like that from your perspective.
Unfortunately, now relegated to being a life ended, unfortunately, much too swiftly.
you tend to do a lot of things too swiftly, though, don't you?
If that's true, Lord High Inquisitor, it's going to be very unfortunate for you.
Whatever do you mean?
Oh, there's a confrontation coming one of these days, I feel, and the degree to which mercy is available will depend partly on the magnitude of crimes committed.
Yes. Yes, quite.
I'd be more concerned about what a patron might do if their subjects don't complete their end of the bargain.
Oh, I have...
Yes, that does seem like a concern. That would explain the slight smell of desperation.
Oh, I do thank you for
No, that's
your
just their
concern.
true form.
I do very much thank you for your concern, for me and for the Empire. But rest assured, all plans enacted by our mutual acquaintance, may he rest in peace, have already come to fruition.
Actually, there's another query to keep in mind. What happens when and I know that you're going to pretend you can't hear me, but you will hear me. What happens when the illithid that you have teamed up with get bored of chasing human brains and decide to eat yours instead?
I'm not sure they've got a taste for something that's already rotten.
He steps
Start eating their children, then.
He steps forward slightly. His guards move to flank him, but are stopped by the prince's guards standing next to them. And he pauses a moment before finally deigning to rest his hands on the table and lean over, closer to you all. Please do not worry. Fortunately, our herds are quite large, even enough to sustain an entire colony of
And
Elith.
when your herds turn on you, what happens then?
Then we will murder every single one of them.
God,
Is
then
he-
you'll have to do your own washing up.
Is he leaning in quite close to do this threatening whispering?
He is.
Quill is going to rapidly uncoil from his languid position and slash 3 claws across his face.
Ooh.
That's a surprise attack.
Feisty as
Okay.
hell.
All right.
We're going to end up being killed by an Inquisitor while waiting for our first fight.
I doubt it.
Roll
Give me some good
to
stars.
hit.
I will. Do I have any kind of advantage because it's unexpected?
It's a surprise attack.
I would say, yeah.
Surely, yeah.
Excellent. That is 19 to hit.
A 19 does hit.
Cool.
That is what we like to hear.
It's only a little damage. It's just the claws.
But yeah, you didn't stab him with a dagger.
It's only in fact 3 damage in total.
Okay. You flash up like lightning, raking
Even
your
with sneak
hand.
attack.
Oh, I
don't
didn't
know.
think of sneak attack.
I'm pretty sure you get sneak attack. You rolled with
Yeah,
advantage.
well, I had
right?
advantage. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that does happen.
Mhm.
It's been so long since I've played. Sneak attack, sneak attack.
There's
Sneak
a lot of that
attack.
extra
Another two-
damage when you're a rogue.
2d6, so that's 4. And that's also 4. 11 total.
Much better.
That's a hell of a slap.
It was a claw attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a slap. You're a tabaxi.
Fancy slap.
Yeah.
As your hand flashes out then and rakes across his skin, he launches himself back from you. And you can see his eyes darken and kind of sink into his face as he holds a gloved hand up against his cheek. I want you to roll me a perception check, Quill.
Can I roll as well since we're all looking at him?
Yeah.
No,
Why?
because Quill
Okay.
got real close to him.
21.
21. Okay.
Mhm.
You had to beat 20, even with how advantageous your position was. As his hand moves up and he moves away from you, just before he gets more than maybe a foot away from your outstretched hand, you see 3 rents in his cheek. But the warm milkiness of his skin disappears on the cheek that you slashed. You see it grey and withered. There is no blood from your claws. And you realise that even as you slashed your hand across his face, it felt like sandpaper
Yeah.
tearing.
Mummified.
You look down
Before-
and there is dust under your claws.
I don't look down.
Okay.
Before anything else happens at all, Quill is back in this position. Reclined exactly as he was before.
Okay.
Mm.
A
Looking.
moment after
Some might say, like the cat that's got the cream.
a moment after this happens, the Inquisitors attempt to launch themselves forward. The Prince's
I
Guard,
don't move.
weapons out, stand in a line between you all, causing the Inquisitor himself to back further away.
Ace would have already been in fighting position. It's like,
As you look
I've got-
around as well. Sorry, Oriana.
I was gonna say I've got my hands lit up and ready to go, but I
Fire.
do. I want to stand on the table
Okay.
and then sort of. I'm guessing everyone sort of freezes then, right?
So Quill has gone back to recline. Everyone else is in battle positions. Okay. Dice.
But-
wait.
No, I can get ready for action very, very quickly. I'm sort of mirroring Quill in complete laziness, not giving a shit, because I think that'll annoy him more from a human. Is a human not caring enough to do anything.
Okay.
And I want to piss him off. I hate this guy so fucking much.
Okay. As you
Do
look
we know
around,
the Inquisitor's name?
Norman.
Yes.
Was it really Norman?
Yeah. I have it written down.
Not Norman.
Norman.
He's not a snake.
as you look around and get ready for what will come next, you also discover Dom is in fighting position. You look around the courtyard, the pot washers, the gladiators in training, One and Anu, the Anubis, the Jackalkin, are all standing there, in readiness. You see the Inquisitors looking around the courtyard.
Go on, just do it.
Looks like you're getting a little slow in your old age, Norman.
I'm gonna walk, because I've jumped up on the table, I'm gonna walk along the table and jump down so I'm stood in front of him.
There is a wall of Prince's guards and Inquisitors
She's got wings.
between you.
Alright, I'll stay on the table and look over them at him. I dare you.
One of the Prince's guard lowers his sword slightly. My lord, Inquisitor, this is grounds outside the Empire for the duration of the games. You cannot come in here and make threats and then accuse them of crimes against you if they retaliate. This is
I
not...
wouldn't worry, guardsman. Norman's rage is as impotent as Norman.
You see him glaring through everyone. I would like
Looks good to kill.
I would like all 4 of you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Dang.
Oh, does that count as attack from? Oh my god, I got a natural 20. Sorry.
I have inspiration, which I'm going to use.
Okay.
I got a 16. Do I need to use inspiration?
I got a 16 as well.
No, Ori, have Flash of Genius +5.
Okay.
21. My wisdom saving throw was 21. Ace can also have Flash of Genius. I think I can do it twice. I don't know, it counts. Does it count as an action? It probably counts as an action. I might only be able to do it to 1. I really...
It does count as an action. You can only really do it for 1 person.
It's okay.
It's a shame because Ori does have inspiration. Could have used that and I could have given it to Ace. It's done
You can
now.
do that if you want.
Will Bri let us do that?
What?
Well, he hasn't said whether the thing succeeded or failed.
Mm.
But
So
I
give
think
the
you
Flash
have.
Genius to Ace instead, and I'll use inspiration to roll again.
Yeah, you can do that if you want.
Yeah, there you go. So you've
I
got...
haven't given you the outcome yet.
Yeah. So Ace would be on 18.
Can I keep my original roll?
You all get, by the way...
You've got 16.
Yeah, inspiration is basically advantage.
Yeah.
However, you all get a +3 to your saving throws.
Oh yeah. In that case, I got 19.
Because you're within 10 feet of
19.
Ace.
I got 24.
Do I
19.
get that?
Yeah?
No, it's already written. It's already in Ace's bonus.
Yeah, I was going to say it's already with me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Ace gets 18. Mine was 20. Is it +3, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So mine's 24.
Okay.
Quill and Ori are on 19.
19. I've dropped the D4 out of my dispel dice.
Oh.
Danger.
I'm in a truly very dangerous situation right
No
now.
wonder you look so nervous.
Yeah.
Fuck the Inquisitor, scared of the dice.
Yeah, I really am.
Out of the corner of your eye, then, you can see everyone in the courtyard. Guards, Inquisitors, the gladiators in training. Everyone apart from 1 and Dom take an involuntary step back as you all feel this wave of despair wash over you. But wash over you it does, like water off a duck's back. A moment later, it is gone. However, you can see the majority of people in the courtyard. They may be holding weapons, but you can see those weapons wavering and shaking in their hands.
I would like to stand up from my lazy position as the wash of despair is passing through me and take a step towards him to prove that he hasn't touched me.
I don't react at all.
I really want to piss this guy off. It makes me happy.
I am going to look him dead in the eyes and say, I am my father's daughter, and your obsession with my mother is creepy.
Ooh, dropping some law.
At these words, the anger and darkness from his eyes disappears. to be replaced by shock and realization as he looks at you.
You have a debt to pay, Inquisitor, and I intend to collect.
But then the look turns into one again of lecherous, almost greed and happiness. Oh, I am certain that you know where my door is. It will be wonderful to have the next generation within those walls as the previous one. Well, spent quite a lot of time there.
We know where your window is as well.
This has been very enlightening. I did not think to look for such information. I am very thankful it was offered freely.
Like I give a shit, you creepy bastard. Take your undead, sweaty ass, dusty face out of here.
Be gone, Lich!
You heard the woman.
Go find another innocent tiefling to kidnap and murder.
I'd prefer he didn't.
Actually, I'd prefer he didn't too.
Yeah.
But he seems so good at it.
Well, I wasn't going to, but... I'm sure, certain, really, that we shall see each other again.
Unfortunately, yes. Now shut up and leave.
I think
Goodbye.
I've said
I would like to
everything
turn
Bye
my
now.
back.
No, go bye now.
Ace is just going to turn around and start going back for...
Wander away for breakfast.
Yeah.
Just like complete. Yeah, well, I'll join Ace.
Up eating breakfast.
He takes his hand away from his face. Any marks made by your claws are gone.
Bitch, we can all heal.
He smiles once more at you all, turns and begins to walk back towards the gate.
With a mouthful of food, I go, bye, Norma!
Oh, man. So you know when I called him sweaty ass? Could I cast Vicious Mockery with that?
Yeah,
So he needs to give me a wisdom saving throw.
yes he does.
That his wisdom saving throws a lot.
Probably.
Yeah, he'll probably succeed, but I
can
love
still
the
insult
attempt.
him whether it hurts him or not.
I really enjoy the attempt.
It's a cantrip.
Well, he rolled
sorry.
a 2,
Yeah, what's
giving him
plus
a
on
giving him
saving
a
throw?
total of 10. However,
That is-
however, your vicious mockery does not affect him anyway.
Why though?
Bitch, you have to do a saving throw of 18.
Not in all circumstances.
Oh, fuck, you can't pull some DM shit on this. This rules, numbers.
There are,
You've got to listen to the rules and the numbers.
yeah, and some monsters don't have to roll saving throws.
He can't take psychic damage, can he?
He's got legendary resistance.
Just psychic damage.
I suspect just legendary resistance.
To anything, yeah. He's
You
used
can
to.
just choose to pass a certain number of saves, right?
Maybe.
Probably shouldn't fight him in his house.
Like every
Noted.
goddamn dragon we've ever fought.
No, there was no chance in hell I was ever going to go to his house again. Or set foot in it. The dimension underneath
Willingly.
his house.
He gets to the gate. The High Inquisitor, his guards, and the Prince's guard make their way outside. The gate is closed. And you hear behind you the loud groaning and creaking of a bench as Dom sits back down.
That guy's going to really try and kill us, huh?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still torn with whether he wants to kill me or fuck me, but he's not doing either.
50-50.
Look at this, guys. Dust, not blood.
Yeah,
Pretty
then
gross.
he's undead.
Yeah, but you know,
So,
Or some form of undead.
gross, disgusting, Someone please get me something to pick this out of my nails with.
Ari? Prestidigitation.
Oh, well, he can do that himself.
Yeah, but he's all covered in dust.
Fine.
Hello, Dom.
You keep interesting company.
I'd
That is
rather
not
lose
really
that
a
interesting company.
To be fair, we never want to spend time with him. He just shows up. He's obsessed. And an asshole.
Both of those things.
And a lich.
Possibly.
Lich
Certainly
and
an undead of something.
High Inquisitor is Grecian war hero.
High Inquisitor is a dickhead.
Grecian.
Well, he fought on front lines against Gracia almost
Oh.
500 years ago now.
War
No
criminal, I
reason to hate
suspect.
It was strange, and it was apparently 50 years ago or so. It was the talk of the town when he gave up life of war and army to study, become scholar.
Build a soul
Did
train.
he give up though, or did he coward out of it?
No, I think he probably discovered a more,
Effective way of killing humans.
I was going to say a more disgusting set of pursuits, but yes.
I need to get under his house.
Maybe we can do that after we've been cleared of all crimes and he has no legal recourse in attacking us.
Yeah,
Be ideal.
I need to learn how to get to a different dimension. Willingly,
Ask Hades.
if he's willing to talk to me.
Worth a shot, right? I'm aware Dom's still there and probably like this by now.
Very confused.
Can we expect more strange visitors from your past?
Maybe a night.
Oh, probably not. But maybe one. Or the meeting we're supposed to have. Perhaps we could relocate the meeting.
Oh, with Jarrus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let him know that we're here.
Yeah.
Best we
But-
can do.
That would be the only other visitor.
Jarrus the bounty hunter works out of Broken Cemetery, yes?
Yes.
We have crossed paths on travels.
Good. We've got a deal with him.
Also,
An agreement. Not that we've got to deal with him. We've got a deal with him.
there are a couple of people that might show up looking for us because they had jobs for us to do, and obviously those jobs are going to be delayed. So we can't guarantee no more visitors.
I think the answer to that question is probably.
Who are people? We will watch out.
Or
Deal with Anking.
they wouldn't. The likelihood is the people who would come to find us wouldn't say who they were, and they wouldn't look like we expected anyway. So
Well, they
I'm
might
afraid,
They might not actually knock the door.
yeah, chances are they would just show up.
Visitors
Somewhere.
who hide features to do jobs outside of Empire's eyes.
It's entirely possible.
Is one black man, one eye, angry all time?
Sometimes.
He is friend of Apolotes.
I am not surprised.
I was aware of that. He said as much when he visited us in our hotel room on the top floor by not going through the door.
You are friends of Niklaus, yes?
We are.
Ah, then I can tell you secrets of Apolotes school.
That would
We
be
would
great.
enjoy that.
We will be firm friends. Come, I will set up for the displaying of skill, and then we will talk.
That sounds great.
And Dom rises and leaves you to finish your breakfast, if any of you still have an appetite.
I sit there and enthusiastically scoff
Yeah.
everything on the table. This guy pisses me off. He doesn't scare me anymore. He just makes me fucking angry, and that fuels my hunger.
And with that, we are going to take a quick break. Yes, because it is 9 o'clock. So yes, we are back. Episode 74. The Inquisitor's back. I've managed to piss everyone off. First hour and a half. Wonderful. We've, some exposition happened. But yes, Please don't go anywhere. We'll be about 10-15 minutes. And join us for the second half of episode 74 of the Chronicles of Nidum.
I might.
Yay!
Not
See you in a moment.
See you guys in a bit.
Bye.
See you in a bit.
Hello! Yes, hi, welcome back. Part 2 of episode 74 of the Chronicles of Nidum. So where we left off, Oriana had just had a nice meeting with the prince, followed by a horrible meeting with the High Inquisitor for you all. Can't believe you went for him.
I think
Okay.
that's
I
the
loved
only
it.
kind of meeting we have with the High Inquisitor.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be my favourite meeting of ours with the High Inquisitor.
I mean an openly horrible
Yeah.
meeting with the High Inquisitor.
No, but that made it less horrible. No more hiding, no more being polite because we need to be polite. Like, Quill slashed his face. I got to be a dick to him, which made me really happy because normally I have to be all meek and polite and quiet. You have no idea how happy I am.
So, after about 10 minutes of watching Dom running around the courtyard, speaking to many of the different athletes and speaking to the Jackal Kin and One, Dom walks back over to the table with One at her side.
Hey, One.
So, it is time for us to show secrets of school. Skills teach or taught to all for future endeavors.
I
Come.
would be very interested. Thank you.
And she turns, Anu! And the Jackal Kin turns, pricks his ears up. Kill the woman. And he turns around and immediately takes his spear off his back and starts just attacking one of the human girls there. She looks terrified, distraught, striking at her until she falters. And he runs forward, bringing their bodies very close together, and you see a spray of blood, and his spear explodes out of her back.
Okay, Ace is gonna jump into action at that. They're not gonna like the look of that at all.
Okay. As you rush over then, Anu steps back, lets the woman's body fall, drops the spear, and holds his hands, and kind of bows his head towards you in supplication.
Why would you do that?
One moment, please. And he looks down at the girl on the floor, and the girl on the floor is holding a bloody wound in her chest, but is smiling at you.
What's going on?
Dom walks over and puts her hand on your shoulder. This is secret of Apollote's school. We know not all of athletes and all of fighters we train, though they are skilled when they leave, or when they go out to fight. We know that the odds are stacked against them. It is the Empire's way. The odds are always stacked against them. For many out there, the deaths of humans at the hands of other races is the highest entertainment. And so we give them what they want. We give them what they want, we get more money for funding, we buy more slaves, and we train them to survive and be useful to other parties or acquaintances that we have in common. However, one of the best things that we train them is how to act dead. Watch. And she stands up, turns, and you can see there is a bloody wound on her back. But as she kind of lifts, like, the shirt that she's wearing, you can see that the spear has gone around her. It's scored her side. She is wounded and bleeding. But you can see that from a certain angle, it would have looked as if the spear had gone straight through. At the end of fight, when death blow is struck, the humans that they think are dead are taken to the death pits. Just mass graves. However, the death pits, people do not like to work there. So, we offer their services of our own clerics to work with the human corpses. And Dom kind of raises her fingers. Corpses. These clerics are very skilled. So skilled, in fact, that unfortunately, even if some of them do die when bodies are brought, the other thing that we use the funds for is...
Diamonds.
Ah, you have experience with clerics.
No, I have some of the abilities of some clerics.
Ah. I apologize for not showing you enough respect previously. The clerics we have here are the most venerated members of school. They have saved and freed many lives. For you see, the other thing, the elves are quite, how you say in Albion, thrifty.
Where they can save money, they will. It makes sense.
Of course. So, before human bodies are taken to death pits, their braces are removed.
Dom, would you like to know a secret in turn?
Of course.
Bring me any human with an old-style bracer. For the second, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. Come.
A classic one, not the... actually, any of them. The older ones, the newer. Just bring me someone with a bracer.
Come, Alexei, you have a bracer passed down from father, yes? Yes, I do.
Can I have a look at it and see if it's one of the ones that is likely to actually have the magic it's supposed to have, or if it's one of the shit new ones?
It is one of the old ones.
So, this one, if it is removed, it will do what it says on the tin. Now do you have someone with the newer, fancier type? Sorry, Lexi, I could remove it, but I think that you would like to keep it on to maintain the show.
Yes, and not to die. That would also help.
I could possibly deactivate the magic, so we'll come back to this.
Sorry, just as a recap. So once they go to the death pits, what happens? Because, sorry, I had to take notes.
Their braces are taken off.
The elven officiants take all of their braces or their collars off before they're sent to the death pits. And as Dom continues before Jenny, come! And one of the other girls comes over. When they are taken to death pits, their names are recorded as dead. They are effectively In the eyes of Empire, no one.
That won't work for us, I think. Is this one of the new braces?
Yes. As
No,
Jamie kind of presents her arms to you.
I'll say to Dom. And what magics is this one supposed to have on it? Just to be clear.
That they will
If it's removed,
they will be
it'll kill her.
It will kill her, and they will be alerted that bracers have been removed.
I'm going to take hold of the bracer, and I'm going to look at the girl, and I'm going to go, trust me, please. You don't know me, but trust me. And I'm just going to take it off.
Okay. I'm going to need you to roll me a...
Persuasion check.
No, I'm going to need you to roll me a strength check. There is nothing in the world you can say that will persuade this girl you are not about to kill her. She's young, very naive, and terrified of the Elven Empire. You could not roll a high enough persuasion to convince her this was going to be okay. So I need you to roll me a strength check to hold on to her hand and do
15.
this. A 15? Okay.
Yeah.
Roll with advantage because you're doing it as a surprise. I'll say that.
19.
19, okay.
Otherwise, I'm going to have to get Ace to hold her down, and I don't want to do that.
She rolled an 18.
That was lucky.
In fact, then...
Seeing the struggle, Ace will step in and assist.
Okay. No, before Ace gets there then, she actually helps in what you are trying to do in your endeavour. Her resistance gives you better purchase on the bracer, and she breaks free by effectively breaking out of it herself.
I watch her carefully holding the bracer.
You see her eyes shut as she winces, waiting for the pain she has been promised, if this ever happens, and you see everyone else flinch as well.
I take a hand to her, stroking. It's okay. You're okay. You really were. I promised. You're okay.
And very slowly, her eyes open, and she breathes a terrified sigh of relief. I do not understand. What is this?
It would have been a waste of resources for them to actually use anything to control you when...
You said it to... Dom, you said it yourself. They're thrifty.
Yeah.
Why waste the magic when fear works?
Exactly.
I have seen these bracers work.
No, you have seen people use magic with saying it is the braces. These new braces do not. The old ones, that is the difference. The old ones, the ones handed down father to son, father to daughter, whatever, they work. They have the magic they were supposed to have, and that's where the fear comes from, is that they have seen those ones used. But these new ones, just metal and stone.
Well then, perhaps the next time we are traveling across country and we come up against some terrible weather, perhaps our entire slave camp disappears into a ravine.
Oh
Dies
no.
of exposure.
There, dies of exposure, yes.
For scaring you, rather than putting this bracer back on, that you would not be able to remove again so easily yourself, I'm going to reach into my bag and pull up one of mine and Ace's old ones.
Okay.
And I'm going to clip it onto her and give her the crystal to be able to remove it by tapping it. And go, you can use this one instead. You can take it off whenever you like. Sorry for frightening you. It was the quickest way, and you would never have let me take it off otherwise.
Your friend won. They told me that you would be full of surprises upon arrival. I am glad to say they are right.
One has seen some shit.
However,
We've put them through plenty.
it is time for us to put you through some things. So,
Oh, wait. I have two questions.
yes,
First of all, if this is how the combats normally work, we need to win in order to get our names cleared to be able to continue helping humans, which is what we want to do.
there.
How would the fights work in that way? Because if we face each other, it's going to go badly.
In Heat 1, there are single combat. You can choose to take part in if wish. However, most schools put teams forward. Our Heat, as we were last to arrive, our Heat is all of us. It would be great help if you show skill. If your skills are greater than theirs, it would be great help to us if you could, and again she raises her hands, kill all of your other training companions, and points at like the 20 athletes lined up. If you kill all of them, but win the Heat, you will go into a next round. Unfortunately, we do not know what the rounds will be comprised of this time.
It will certainly be interesting by the sounds of it. I'm adopting her accent. I'm trying really hard not to.
Da.
Trying not to become Russian.
I'm having so many problems keeping the French up.
There is, in days of old, there will be large melee combat with two sides rush at each other, and survivors after a certain period of time advance to the next round. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, the many, I suppose, barbarians in the scenario they normally put forward disappeared in middle of night in transit to Paris.
Strange that.
What a shame. That must have been terrible for you.
I cried.
I can tell.
I was heartbroken for the Empire. It was terrible thing. I would like to sorely meet people who freed the cattle, as Inquisition calls them.
I have no idea.
Yes, I have some very choice words for them.
Well, that I would be interested to
and
hear.
also perhaps drink. But yes, now there is no grand melee to kick off the next round. The heats will be small, little things, just to get people interested. Then the winners will go into much more, we have been told, elaborate battles. We do not know what they are comprised of. However, we have heard the rumor that gnomes from factory have been working night and day on construct of some kind. There are also,
Now that is interesting.
there is also rumored to be strange visitor from foreign land with large entourage brought in to take on winners in final bout.
When you say foreign land, whereabouts are you thinking?
Cold North. Some say it is Great Serpent. Some others say they have seen carriage fit for a giant.
A lot of rumours and no facts just yet.
That is what our great and esteemed leader, Balates, has been pressing flesh for. He has fought for many years and has, even as human in Paris, garnered quite a few followers at court, fans. I suppose he is attractive for a small man, but you know. And when she says small man, she puts her hand up, and you know you're quite certain that Apolliteus is about like 6'2" at the height of her hand, but it's still like up to her chin. He's attractive, I suppose, for a small person. But he was supposed to be back this morning. He is not. No, I'm not worried yet.
When do we
If-
become worried?
If you can describe him well enough, Ori could theoretically message and see if he's delayed.
Describe. We have statue.
Ori
That
could.
would work.
I would imagine Ori would be able to do that, yes?
We will get statue out of storage.
That sounds good.
Well, statue is quite large. Takes up quite a bit of training space, and this courtyard is smaller than we are used to.
It's stored.
When we first arrive in Paras, normally we have pick of schools, pick of grounds.
Why did you
to
not?
use. Again, this is knowledge that Politheus is looking for by pressing flesh. We are being slighted, and I think, and he stares towards, she stares towards the gate with a look of disdain on her face. I think perhaps we can guess who we are being slighted by.
I would imagine so.
Politheus has been approached by High Inquisitor many times, carrying favor with celebrity, but Politheus has spurned his offers of friendship and patronage at every turn. High Inquisitor does not seem like a man who enjoys hearing the word no.
He
No.
certainly doesn't.
He is
Insistent.
an asshole, I was going to say. But
That
yes,
works
that's
also.
Description.
So,
a man I have no fondness for. Let's fight people.
who would like to go first?
Actually, not me. I need maybe 20-30 minutes to change something in preparation.
Very well.
I'm not keen.
Who? What?
Me? If no one else fancies it.
To you, I'm sure.
Very well. We will see what you can do with hammer.
Not just hammer.
Okay.
How many of our skills are you looking to see, Dom?
All, if I can.
Sounds fun.
Though perhaps some skills can be shown in private. Off stream. In exposition. If you want.
Yeah.
We can just say Oriana shows some skills later
Yeah.
on if you want. That's fine. Okay, so Ace, you're gonna go first?
Yeah.
Cool. Dom turns, claps their massive hands, and like a thunderclap resounds around the walls. And all of the athletes who are stretching and preparing and mock fighting with each other and sparring they all kind of disperse and move off to the sides to kind of sit down. The heat is starting to now bear down on you all. It's starting to get much worse, but it's a comfortable heat. It's okay. But you can see everyone who has been training while you've all been talking and enjoying your breakfast is very happy about the rest. But yeah, so you're all going to... Very cool. Let's kick this off. Okay, give me a second. It's gone. And just because I like the atmosphere, a couple of the athletes find instruments from somewhere, and they start playing, giving your fight a bit more of a lively atmosphere. Okay.
Wild athlete appears. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
Okay. So, give me a second so I can set up. There we go.
Orchid orc. My heckin' shoulder just does not want to be in place at the moment.
Okay. I am gonna need a initiative roll, please, from Ace.
1 second. That is an 18.
An 18.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. And cool. So, first things first then. As you square off against each other, Dom shouts, "Fight!"
Yep.
She screams in rage at you. You see a fire flare in her eyes. And she rushes straight towards you.
Yeah. Well, with that,
Okay.
is that going to be? Is she going to make first attack, or is it me? Okay.
No, she's going to swing at you with her maul. With both hands. Her strike is going to be an 18 to hit. Is that a miss?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. The maul swings wide over your head. The second strike is going to be a 21 to hit.
Ooh, just. Yeah.
Okay. Also, hang on. Give me a second. I've just realised. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so that is going to be... You take 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. I can deal with that.
And there you go.
Yep.
Okay, it's your go. That's the end of Dom's turn.
Okay.
However, now she's approached you.
Yeah.
The heat of the day, or maybe it's something else. The heat has become almost unbearable.
Okay.
It's like a fire has been thrown at you.
Okay. You do know I won't take any ill effect from that, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know I won't take any ill effect from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just so you know. And then, okay, I will cast at second level then a Searing Smite.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will roll to hit with Thunderstrike first.
Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
I need to... I'm just checking something. Sorry.
Yeah, fine.
There we go. Okay, so you're right next to her. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you begin to cast your spell, Searing Smite,
Yeah.
the maul comes around again and strikes you.
Okay.
That is going to be a... yeah, it's definitely going to hit. That's going to be 27.
Ooh, yeah, that
to
hits me.
hit.
How much damage?
That is going to be... Only 9 points of bludgeoning damage from the maul that time.
Too bad. Cool. So, yeah, I'm gonna hit with Thunderstrike.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Searing Smite, you mean? Oh, you're going to hit with it. Thunderstrike is the weapon. Sorry, yeah.
sorry, I've got to roll to...
Is Searing Smite a concentration? Yeah, it is. Can you roll me a con save, please?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, that's a 24.
Yeah, so you maintain concentration, you do cast the spell, so you can hit with the Searing Smite.
Cool. And that is a 21 to hit. Does that hit?
Yeah, 29 definitely hits. She's not wearing any armor.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, sorry, I'm just rolling for the damage on that. So it is 8 from Thunderstrike, and then 1d6 for Searing would be an extra 2.
So what was that in total, sorry?
can't even remember what I said on this one.
8. You said 8
then
and 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so 10
Okay.
total.
10 points of damage.
Was
Okay.
you-
I'm using the digital dice because my cheat yeeted all of mine on the floor earlier.
As you do strike, then you see the impact, and you feel, as you've struck enemies before, that you should have at least moved Dom slightly.
Yeah.
But as the hammer hits her, she just grins again
Oh, no.
and screams in your face. That might not even leave a bruise.
I'm up for a challenge, it's fine.
Sorry, hang on, that was 1 extra point because you said it was 2 points of fire damage, yeah? 2 points of fire damage from the Searing Smite.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Okay. She's not resistant to that.
That's what we like to hear.
Okay, so that was your first attack.
Cool. Let's go with... Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 3rd level moonbeam. Just to show off a little bit.
You have already cast a spell this round, so you can't cast a second spell.
This round, sorry. I'm going into a second round in my head then.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Mine? It's okay. In that case, I'll swipe again with Thunderstrike. So that will be... That's a 26 to hit.
26?
Yep.
Yeah, it definitely hits.
Cool. And then that is... If it ever shows up on the screen. No, it decided not to show up on the screen, but that was a 9. That's fine. So that's 9 bludgeoning damage.
9 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
There we go. Hang on, if you're using Thunderstrike. There we go.
Oh, is it plus an extra 6 lightning every time then as well with Thunderstrike? Yeah. Okay, there we are then. Take another 12 off it then.
Okay.
Thunderstrike's fantastic.
It's a well, it's another D6. It's not another 6. It's another D6.
Okay, yeah.
So roll me 2 D6.
I'll do that. Oh, there we are. 6 and a 5.
Nice. Okay. It's 11. There we go. Fine. And then cool. Okay. So that time, you can see then the lightning start to sizzle around her, and she feels it. The smile does slip from her face. There's no anger there, but as her eyes now rage at you, there is a look of kind of okay.
Alright.
Alright, okay.
I know what you're about.
Okay, is that the end of your go?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So, at the beginning of round 2, the fire in Dom's eyes flares. You immediately take... Bum, bum, bum. Where is that gone? Hate it. Never tried this class before. Give me a second. Bum, bum, bum.
Are you a barbarian?
No, it's the type of barbarian. That's what it is.
Okay.
Where's it gone? There it is. Bonus actions. There we go. Yes. You take 4 fire damage.
4 fire damage.
Mm-hmm.
Does that that doesn't go up against my resistances, does it?
What are you resistant against?
All.
Yeah. Resistance to damage from.
It just says all.
I suppose it's resistance to damage from spells.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Would I just take the regular damage from it?
trying to work out whether it's a spell.
Mm.
What you reckon, Greg? Storm Herald Barbarian. It's the aura of effect.
It doesn't use a spell slot, so I would suggest that it probably isn't. But
A spell, yeah. No, that's what I was
I
thinking.
don't.
I wanted a second opinion.
Resistances are normally damage type, not
Yeah,
whether it's
yeah, but
from
it's
magical
damage
sources.
type from. It can be damage type from certain sources. So like,
Yeah, but a paladin's aura of warding is specifically resistance to damage from spells.
Ah, I see.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
So yes, you
So I
take
would
4
take
points of fire
damage.
damage.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. I just wanted to check.
That's okay. She's then going to make a maul attack against you.
Okay.
Tough maul?
It's gonna be a 19 to hit.
Does not hit.
Does not hit. Okay. So with that, then
Take a picture for the Discord.
she is going to cast the maul away and reach out with her other hand in an attempt to grapple you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna need.
given this, you given this character some feats by any chance, Pray?
Might have.
Might have. Might be a grappler. Might be a mage slayer. Might be a cheeky little bit of a mage slayer, maybe.
So yes, she's gonna reach out to grapple you. I'm gonna need an athletics check, please.
Okay. Happy to oblige.
I was just sitting there
25.
chuckling to himself while he made this character.
Yeah, obvious.
They're not going to expect this. I'm such a little devil.
Did you hear what my roll was, right?
No.
I didn't.
No? It's 25.
25.
Mm-hmm.
27.
Ooh.
You are grappled.
Waffles.
You are grappled, which means. Give me a second. There we go.
It means you're a little stinker, is what it means.
Your
Not on my
speed.
list.
Yeah, your speed has become 0.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got it.
Condition ends. Blah, 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 blah. You have to use an action, basically, to try and break the grapple. If you want to be able to get away. So yeah, that's the end of their turn. Go for it.
Okay. I will attempt to get out of the grapple.
Okay.
As one of my actions.
Cool.
Yeah. What do I need to roll? Athletics or
Yes, it's an athletics or acrobatics, whichever.
athletics is probably my stronger one. Yeah, it is. Oh bugger. It's 14.
Yeah. So
That was a nat one.
oof. Dom rolled a 16
Yeah.
plus 9 for athletics, and plus 3 for raging.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're still grappled.
Yeah, I'm still grappled. I accept that. Can I? Can I still cast Moonbeam while grappled?
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still cast spells and stuff. I
Okay.
bet I know what happens if you do, though.
Okay.
You're gonna cast Moonbeam on yourself.
No.
You are currently inhabiting the same space.
Because you're grappled.
And I can't move, can I? No.
You can't move.
That's true. Then I won't. Yeah. That's
You can use an athletics to try and break out of it, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bray?
I'll
Yeah,
do
she's-
another one.
She's just try. Oh yeah, you could. Well, I suppose you can use your second attack action to try and get out of
I
the
will
grapple
indeed.
again if you wish to try and resist again.
Yeah. Let's do that. Oh, that's a much nicer roll. That's a 31.
31. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, man, that's a good roll.
Yeah.
It's a
Just
nat,
like theirs isn't better.
it's a nat 20,
Oh my god!
which means plus 9.
Just wants to hug me.
Which means plus 9 and plus 3 for raging is a 32. You're almost out before she grips you again in her huge arms.
No, I'm starting to not like her as much now.
Is that the end of your go?
Well, I guess it is, because I can't cast anything. Yeah.
Okay. So, as her go begins again, you can see the light in her eyes, being this close now, flares once more. You take another 4 fire damage.
That's one fear. Yeah.
Yeah. She is going to use her first action to attempt to pin you.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to need another athletics check from you.
Yeah, I can do that. Ooh, that's a 29.
A 20. Ooh. 29, so 16. Okay. She attempts then to roll you over and drag you to the floor.
Or
You're like a gator.
But
Like,
you manage to drop down to one knee and kind of resist lowering your center of gravity and just kind of like digging in. She grunts, kind of impressed in your ear, and once more attempts to roll you over and throw you. Another athletics check, please.
ooh, 15.
15. This time, she does manage to then roll you over and throw you, which means you are now restrained until the grapple ends.
Geez. Okay.
However,
is that another thing I can add, or is it not?
it is. However, it also
Oh, it
means that she's restrained as well.
Okay.
So your speed becomes 0. Attack rolls against you have advantage. Your attack rolls have disadvantage. And you have disadvantage on any dex saving throws.
Okay. Cool.
It's your go.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Sorry, I'm just having a nose. Question.
Yes.
Can
tell
I
me
use
what you think
Misty
about
Step?
me.
The teleportation. Would that work?
Well, I was gonna say, because you have Thunderstep.
I do have Thunderstep, so I could use either really, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but only one of them deals damage though.
Yeah. Let's go with Thunderstep then.
Okay. So you're gonna use your action to cast Thunderstep.
Yeah. Where is
Okay.
that on my? Oh, there it is. Got it. Right. Do I need to roll for No, it's just a con save, isn't it? There we are. So, yeah, you have to beat my con save then.
Okay. So she's gonna make a con save.
It's not usually a contested con save. She has to beat your.
Yeah, she's gonna make a con save against the spell DC.
Yeah,
the spell
that's
DC.
what I was talking about. Yeah.
Okay. I think she's lost. That's gonna be a 7.
Yeah, that's lost.
Okay. Where would you like to teleport to? You can go anywhere. Anywhere you can see within 90 feet.
I'd like to be about 20 feet behind her, if that's cool.
Okay, cool. So, there is a thunderous clap of energy.
And I will roll for damage.
And in a flash, you appear 20 feet behind her.
Yep. She's taken 11 thunder damage from that.
11 thunder damage. Okay.
Yeah. And does she take, because it uses my hammer, does she also take +6, 1d6 as well? Lightning damage?
No, because you're using a spell instead of hitting her.
That's fine.
However, she's not resistant to that. Okay, so
Right,
Is
so
that-
I am I'm behind her now.
Yeah, you're 20 feet behind her. She's on the floor. You're standing.
2 of those. Haven't I used 2? No, I didn't use the second one. That's fine. I've used 1/3. Sorry, I'm just checking off. Can't cast another spell now because I'm already here.
You also can't. You don't have a second attack action either.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because
yeah,
if you
never
use your
mind.
action to cast a spell, you're not attacking. You only get a second attack action if you use the first one to attack.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll stay where I am then.
You stay where you are. Okay. She is then going to use half her movement to get up. Is going to look at you,
Yeah.
square in the eye, raise her hands in the air. And as she does so, the music quietens. You are, as I said previous, full of surprises.
You could say that.
I think if we fight until it is finished, we will both be bleeding on floor, yes?
More than likely.
You need no training.
If you say so.
Come, sit. We rest. It is someone else's turn now.
Okay.
She walks over and puts her arm around you. And
Yeah.
very easily kind of just drags you towards the table. Who wants to go against Anu? And the Jackalkin kind of steps up. You raising your hand, Quill?
I am.
Okay.
Kitty.
The Jackal kind of smiles, baring his teeth. It would be a pleasure to face you in battle.
And you.
Come, show me what you have got. And he takes from his side a rapier in one hand and a dagger in the other.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
a second. I'm using cake because the closest mini that I have to what Anu would look like is currently Quill. So yeah. Cool. Roll for initiative.
Yes, dear. Okay, I did roll a natural 20, so that's 24.
Oof. Okay. You go first.
I thought I might. How much space have we got here, Bray? Is it just that, or is there more room?
There's 20 feet between you. It's pretty much just that. The walls you can see around you are about 20 feet high.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Climbable?
Yeah, for the most part. They've got like sconces and stuff you could parkour up.
Okay. Let me think. I'm going to start by using a bonus action to activate the Blade Song.
Of course you are.
So my AC goes up by 3, my speed goes up by 10, I have advantage on acrobatics checks, and again +3 bonus to concentration saves. Then I will like think I will start by casting. Let's say a 4th level chromatic orb for an opener.
Okay.
So, attack. That's 20 to hit.
20 definitely hits.
I will roll damage in the app because it's a lot of dice. That is going to be, for an opener, 34, and we will go for cold damage.
Cold damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So you see the orb fly forwards and impact on Anu's chest. You see frost start to spread out from the impact area. And he just kind of looks down at it, wipes it away. And grins at you again.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you like to go?
It's a good question. So I have a climbing speed of 20 feet. But I also obviously have feline agility and blade song on. Or rather, I can pop feline agility and I have the blade song.
Yeah.
So, if you think it's reasonable, I would like to dash over to the 20-foot high walls and quickly scale on up them.
Well, you've got
Just
a standard movement is 30 feet, yeah?
my standard movement is 40 feet.
Okay. You're 10 foot away from the wall behind you.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I have, at the moment, I have 50 feet because of the blade song. Plus, feline agility doubles it, so I have 100 feet of movement, and normally I would have 20-foot climbing speed, but if you think the 20-foot climbing speed would be affected by the blade song and the feline agility, then, you know, I think I can... It feels like I should be able to make it up there.
You can easily scale the wall.
Yeah, so I scale the wall and adopt a cocky posture
At the
on top of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. There you go. So
Thank
are
you.
nice and high up the wall now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 20. Okay. So Anu smiles at you, having scaled the wall, and is going to attempt to follow you.
Okay.
He's going to use his bonus action to dash, so he definitely gets there. Is going to reliable talent, acrobatics or athletics. Yeah, he's up there.
Cool.
And is going to attempt to strike you with the... Actually, he's not. Make me a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. 14.
The darkness of his fur seems to wash out from him, all over his armor, down along the length of his blade, and suddenly flares out from him. You are frightened until the end of his next turn. So, that is action, bonus action, movement. Your go.
Sorry, was that a spell?
No, it was a It was a
An
effect
ability
of the subclass thief. The rogue subclass Phantom.
Yep.
It's
Jolly
called
good.
Necrotic Shroud.
Okay. I will. Was he just being cocky when he brushed away the ice that formed, or did it appear to affect him less than it should have?
No, it affected him. He was just being cocky. He's got proficiency in performance.
Okay, I would like to use my scimitar.
Okay.
I will make my first attack will be a booming blade attack.
Okay.
So this is a disadvantage, yes, because of the fear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a natural one. So the booming blade does not come off.
Okay.
I will make a second attack. And this is just an attack. A bit better, that is 18 to hit, I believe.
18 definitely hits.
Okay. So 1d6 plus 6. 5 slashing damage.
5 slashing damage, okay.
Yep, and I'm going to turn and run along the wall and attempt to sort of parkour up onto the next highest bit of wall
Okay.
at the back of the arena there.
You've got mobile, don't you?
I do indeed have mobile, yeah. No attack of opportunity for me, thank you.
Okay. Sorry, so which direction are you going? Away from him?
Yeah, away from. Well, I can't move towards him, can I?
No, you cannot.
Not willingly.
Sorry, you're now going to try and get on top of the building to the top
Yeah.
of the battle map, yeah?
Yes, acrobatically, I'm going to attempt to do a bit of parkour up onto the top there.
Okay.
Beautiful, nailed it.
Camera can't see anything. There you go. Cool, you're there.
Can I roll? Can I roll to see how acrobatic it is?
I would like you to, yes.
Yeah, because I think the blade song gives me advantage on it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does. And I'm trying to look showmany. That is a 22.
22.
Yeah.
You do very, very deftly and swiftly, quite easily scale the wall, flipping yourself up onto it. American Ninja Warrior style. Splits in midair.
Maybe a little flip.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do, and when I get to the top of the wall, I'm gonna swallow my terror for a second, turn and bow to him with a big flourish.
He returns the bow. Is that the end of your go?
Yes.
Okay. He is going to then attempt to. He's going to throw his dagger at you.
Okay.
That is going to be a 21 to hit.
So my armor class is 15,
Mm-hmm.
plus 3 because of the blade song is 18. Shield
Okay.
22, and he misses.
Cool.
A large spectral wall appears in front of me, and the arrow and the dagger just ting, flips off it.
Okay. Okay. He looks startled at you then. again smiles. There's a little bit of a head bow. And very quickly moves his hand back to his belt and attempts to throw another dagger at you.
Shield's still there, so it's a decently high AC he's got to hit. What's the range on a throwing dagger? Like normal and long range on a throwing dagger?
20, 60.
Am I within 20 of him?
No. I'm rolling at disadvantage.
Cool.
Okay. Let's see. That's 19. Well, no, it's a 19 on the dice.
Okay, no. A disadvantage?
No, it's a 19 on the first dice. The second
Right.
dice is... so that's a 15 on the second dice. Which means...
I'm guessing that's going to hit a 22.
Yeah, I'll be at 25 to hit you.
Okay. Yeah, that does hit.
Okay. So, I'm going to need you to make me a con save, please. As the dagger pierces your side.
For, I'm guessing poison, not for like a concentration.
Yeah, for poison.
Okay. 8.
8.
Mhm.
Okay, so you take from the dagger itself, well, just 1d4 plus 6 damage. From the dagger itself, you take 10 damage. And then from the poison, no, wrong dice. You take, there we go, 5 points of poison damage.
Yep.
You are poisoned for 1 minute.
Yep, I figured.
So you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
I already have
oh.
disadvantage on attack rolls, I don't care.
You also see the dark energy flare around him. And you take 11 points of necrotic damage.
Ow. That's a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'll move any closer to him than I currently... Did I not... I take it I don't get to make wisdom saves against his...
It is actually now
Yeah.
the end of his turn.
Yeah.
You are no longer frightened.
Okay, cool. But I'm still making attacks at disadvantage because of the poison.
Mm-hmm.
Is it all attacks, or is it, like, weapon attacks?
All attacks, as far as I
Yeah.
can tell.
Including spells.
Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate. Well, in that case, I suppose I would like a wisdom... an intelligence saving throw from him, please.
Okay. Ooh, that is going to be a 14.
14 is just shy, I'm afraid, of the 15 he needed.
Okay.
So I unleash from my forehead a lance of shimmering psychic power, striking him with Ralathin's psychic lance.
Okay.
He takes 10d6 psychic damage and is incapacitated until the start of my next turn.
Ooh, okay. Cool, roll for damage.
I will roll for damage. 36 psychic damage.
Yeah.
And
Jesus Christ.
And as I say, he is
Incapacitated.
incapacitated.
Yeah. So it is,
My friends are the best.
for the benefits of those watching who don't know, an incapacitated creature cannot take actions or reactions. So, that's the end of his go.
Well, I'm on my go. So
Oh, yeah,
I'm
okay.
still on my go. I haven't finished.
Sorry. Yeah, carry on.
So I was going to jump back down off this wall
Mm-hmm.
and run along it directly towards him and just try and like shoulder check him on my way past because he's incapacitated. Hopefully, knock him off the wall.
Okay.
It's a little bit shenanigan-y because like normally it would be an attack, but I figure he's balanced on a wall and he's incapacitated.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if you'll allow me this.
I'll allow you that.
Cool.
It's situational. I like situational mechanics like that. So yeah, I'll allow that.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent. Oh,
Okay.
I can't use V9 agility because I've moved every round.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go. Launch yourself back down and shoulder charge him back off the wall.
Yeah. Just out of interest, it was a natural 20 for a total of 28 on acrobatics. So I just want you to know that it looked like as I flip down and land on the wall, it looks absolutely fucking amazing.
Superhero 3-point landing on a wall.
Oh no, not even. Not even. No, like I do like a like a Simone Biles style fucking three entire twists and a backflip as I like fling myself through the air and I land already running.
With the sassy hip wiggle in the middle.
Yeah.
There we go. So I believe that's 1d6 for every 10 feet.
Yeah, usually.
Cool. So he takes a further. What's that? Yeah, he takes a further 11 points of bludgeoning damage then, as he hits the floor. He is looking. That's 111. Can't put that in. He'd be fucking dead.
That would be a big hit for falling 20 feet.
That's dead.
No, he needs to turn into a fish.
Yeah, he fell onto a spike.
Yeah, has he tried turning into a fish to mitigate the
I
damage?
hear that helps against falling
not.
damage. I have a t-shirt that says it does.
So
Is this guy basically a god?
It's okay, we're gods.
he hits the floor. You can see the breath knocked out of him. He is dazed. And also, for the amount of damage you've already done to him, you can see, like, there is blood leaking out of his ears from the psychic lance. He is looking fucked up.
I catch Dom's eye and wink while flourishing my scimitar.
Okay. While he is laying there dazed and incapacitated in what would be his turn, again, Dom raises her hand for the slightly more battle-hard music to quiet, walks over and just kind of places a hand on Anu's chest. I think fight over, yes?
Yeah, I jump down and offer him my hand to help him up.
Let us not kill each other here and save expensive healing spells for actual battle.
Couldn't agree more. And
Impressed?
I offer my hand to Anu and say, no hard feelings?
Anu kind of gets up. I have, in my time, wrecked a pussy or two, but I've never been wrecked by one. So,
Jesus.
I enjoyed.
That's quite a line.
Come, we'll drink together. Please.
Agreed. Hey, what was on that knife? Because should I go and see a doctor about it?
It will wear off.
That's fine.
About 30 seconds or so.
Good.
A call across the... If it doesn't, by tomorrow morning I could fix it. It's fine. You'll be fine. Or dead.
Or dead. One of those.
Probably not the dead one.
You'll be fine.
Would anyone else like a fight?
Guys, is genuine enthusiasm.
Are you just jingling and crunching now as you use it?
No, because I've hidden the armor back under my clothes, so I changed it to Guardian armor, but it's hidden at the moment.
Okay. So Dom
Because I can do that with the metal one.
Dom kind of looks at you. do not look like much of a fighter.
Actually, normally I am more of a support to my friends, but it would be interesting to see how my skills hold up against a warrior.
She glances
What's the
over.
worst that can happen?
She glances over. One. And one just kind of goes, I would rather not. I have seen what this one can do, and I have plans for the rest of today, and it does not involve concussion.
I look as innocent as humanly possible and go, maybe I've got worse.
Dom just kind of, well, we have other athletes for you to compete against. They are not as well trained as Anu and myself, for one. Perhaps a lesson or demonstration. 2 at a time.
You want me to... Okay. Done.
Very
I
well.
get 2. What did I do to deserve this shit? I'm saying this to Ori as I walk off.
Okay. Give me a second.
While you're loading up, as I walk towards the ring, I'm going to make my armour come out, cover my face, go on top of my clothes, and turn into full Guardian armour.
Okay.
And then I'm going to make my hands crackle with lightning as I walk into the ring.
Very
Yes, I can.
showy. Very
Well-
showy. I like it a lot.
Oh, I was going to say, says the guy who just flipped across the ring and decided to show off on a wall.
I was. That was a compliment.
Oh, thank you. Dice is having a great time. She loves this. This is more fun than she's had in weeks.
Okay.
Things have been really depressing recently. This is great. Why do I get 2 though? What did I...
So, a man and a woman from the crowd now surrounding the pit kind of step out. They bow to you. There is a healthy amount of respectful... They're wary of you. They've just watched what 2 of your companions can do. You know, they're not taking you lightly. And they have just watched you, in completely normal clothing, step into the middle of the ring. And suddenly you're covered in armor. And that appeared from nowhere. And they're terrified. A little bit.
I give like the cutest possible little... Hi!
Roll initiative for me.
Yay! I love initiative. I have advantage on initiative. And I always roll worst. It's great. I had this with Kieslin as well, didn't I? I had like
Yeah,
advantage
yeah.
on initiative and just sucked.
Yeah, it was the same exact thing. For some
It was-
reason, you love taking the advantage on initiative thing, even though it never benefits you at all.
It's actually just a helmet I've got.
Yeah,
Gives me alert.
it was a feat last time, wasn't it? You took a.
I had
feat
alert
for
as
it.
a feat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Alert
great.
always worked really well for Bart.
Brag about it.
What's your initiative, Mel?
18.
Okay.
Apparently I'm better on my own than I am when my group are around me.
Okay, it is
We're holding you back.
your go
Hold me back.
first.
It's my go. Okay.
They ready their spear and shields against you.
I'm going to hold out my hands in front of me,
Yeah.
and I'm going to ask for a wisdom save from both of them.
Okay. Fight started! Fight's over! Jesus Christ.
No, I'll still fight them, just one at a time.
Okay. So that's gonna be a 2. Any... Oh, well, a 3. A 3 with the bonus. And a 6.
Yeah, both are caught in hypnotic pattern.
What's the range on Hypnotic Pattern?
To cast it,
Yeah.
120 feet.
I mean, area of effect, sorry.
It's a 30-foot cube, so if I catch both of them in it, I put it off the edge.
Give me a second.
So I might catch somebody else standing in the background.
Yeah, there are about 3 other waiting gladiator trainees now kind of swaying, hypnotized in the background behind them.
I'll apologise to them later. It's fine.
Okay. So they're both out of it? Both hypnotized?
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I assume it's now... There go?
There go.
Okay.
Hypnotic pattern, they can't try and break out
Do
of it.
anything? No.
Nope. They're incapacitated and have a speed of 0. Yeah, that's...
They literally can't do fucking
They
anything.
literally can't do anything until I hit one of them.
They
Awesome.
do not have a go.
Yeah, go for it. You'll go again.
So I will... First... So many options. I never get to do this. Yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is cast Mirror Image while they're still distracted.
Okay,
So Mirror Image is up. It's not concentration, so I can do that.
cool.
And as a bonus action for that round, I'm going to trigger my... Hang on, I've lost where it is on my list of things I can do because I haven't been in Guardian Armour for a while. It's here 2 seconds ago. Sorry about this, everyone. I'm going to activate my defensive field and gain 11 temporary hit points.
Okay, cool. Their turn comes around. You'll go again.
I've got to give myself time to prepare, you know?
Okay.
I will then... To keep them a bit at range.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really mean.
Do something really mean.
Okay. I'm going to cast Thunder Wave at the one on the left. It's a 15-foot cube, so I'm going to make sure it doesn't hit the other one. It falls just inside them.
Okay.
Oof, that's really mean.
It's really mean.
Okay. Thunderwave.
Um,
At what level?
it's a second level on its own. I'm not going to
Cool.
bump it up.
Well, no,
So I need-
you can cast Thunderwave at first level. That's why I was asking.
It's second level.
Okay, cool.
I need a con save, please.
Mm-hmm. You say they were incapacitated?
Yeah.
Any other effects on them because of the hypnotic pattern? I can't remember.
Their movement speed 0 and they're incapacitated. That's it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they rolled a 3, so they do not pass your con save.
Should have put me up against one of the big ones. Right. They take 2d8 thunder damage and are pushed 10 feet away from me.
Mm-hmm.
They take 10 thunder damage and are pushed 10 feet away.
Cool.
Also, there's a thunderous boom audible to 300 feet.
Okay.
Battle.
I don't have to save spells to save you guys this time, so I can do stuff I don't normally
Yeah, it's true.
do.
They're thrown into the wall. It is not a nice wall. It's covered in like spikes and hooks and stuff. They take an additional 6 damage from hitting the wall.
Odd, Billy.
Okay. Sorry!
They are now broken out of their hypnotic pattern.
Yeah.
Anything else?
When they
you
went
want-
into it,
Anything else
when they
you
went
want to do
into
on
it,
your
there was
go?
one. There was only one of me when they went in. There's 3 now. No, there's nothing else I want to do.
Okay.
Not on this turn.
Cool. So, that guy is going to steal himself and unhappily attempt to counterattack. So he's going to run
Okay.
towards you.
Well, maybe. Let's see who he's trying to hit first. What's my dexterity modifier? There we go. +2.
Okay, so his first strike with the spear.
Hang on. I need to see whether he's aiming for a mirror image or myself to know what the AC is.
Okay.
Roll a d20 to determine whether the attack type. Let's roll up. Hang on. How many duplicates? Second level. Sorry, bear with.
It's okay.
He's sort of relatively new still. Yeah, so it's 3. So he's attacking one of the duplicates.
He's attacking one of the duplicates. Okay.
Yeah.
So
the AC is actually only 12.
okay. So the first hit is a 14 with the spear. Strikes the duplicate.
The duplicate is destroyed.
Duplicate is destroyed. As he sees the duplicate disappear, then there are still 3 of you left. He's going to attempt to strike you again. Roll to find out if it's a duplicate or not.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 15. That's another duplicate gone.
Yep.
And with the third spear attack,
He has 3 spear attacks.
roll again.
All right. I know how to play the game. Ooh, he hits me. Well, he can try and hit me.
Okay. Is going to attempt to shield bash you.
Okay.
And that's a natural 1. Swings wide with the shield. You are not hit.
Poke, nothing.
The other gladiator stands there doing absolutely nothing. And it is your go again.
Okay. This time, because they're in base contact with me now, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. So this time I am going to attempt to hit twice with the thunder gauntlets.
Okay.
So first attack is only a 12.
Unfortunately, your gauntlet does glance off his shield as he brings it to bear.
It's fine. The next one is a 21.
The 21, he attempts to use his reaction to parry, does not help. And yeah, you end up breaking through his defenses and striking him straight in the chest.
Yeah, it's only 7 damage off that one.
7 points
As
of
a baby
damage.
hit.
Heavily winded. Everyone else around you, there's a loud cheer raised from the audience watching you, apart from the 3 who are just kind of staring blankly at what's going on. It is his go again.
No, it's not. As a bonus action, I'm going to cast... Sorry. As a bonus action, I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on myself and give myself a +2 bonus to my AC. So my AC is now 22.
Okay.
Seems kind of unreasonable, but I love it.
Okay. So he's going to attempt to strike you again 3 times. You have a duplicate left, I believe.
I've got 1 left.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one will not hit a duplicate. It'll come to me.
Okay.
Yeah, 11 or higher.
So the first spear strike is a 19, so it glances off your armor.
It doesn't
The
hit,
second
yeah.
strike is a natural 1, doesn't really matter.
But would have hit the duplicate.
Did the
Even
duplicates
if it's
have
not-
an armor class?
Oh, no, they do. Their armor class is 12,
Oh, yeah,
so yeah,
so-
it wouldn't hit.
That's that one.
But a natural 1 always misses. No.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
And then the third spear attack this time, not a shield bash,
Mm-hmm.
to hit you with a duplicate,
Duplicate.
is a 22. So the duplicate dissipates.
Pops. Okay.
The other gladiator stares blankly at you. Your go.
The other gladiator just stands there, doing its thing. I'm going to try and hit him twice again with the thunder gauntlets.
Go for it.
That's the wrong dice. We rolled that one first. That's an 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Yeah, that is math hard. 9 damage on the first one,
Cool.
and I'm going to get a different D8 because I don't like that one.
I don't know about you guys, but I always like to imagine that when you cast Hypnotic Pattern on someone while they're incapacitated, they're seeing like the dream sequence from Dumbo.
Yeah, this. I got a 19 to hit on the second one.
parade.
Or elephants on parade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
What was the second one? 19 to hit.
19 to hit and 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay. Okay. As he raises his shield then and spear to counterattack, there is again a loud clap that you've now learned to recognize as Dom calling for attention. And you turn. Dom is kind of standing up now, drink in hand. You are also very full of surprises. I do not think alone he could take you before you beat him into unconsciousness with your thunderous fists. The other one, how long will he stay this way?
Around a minute. So if we talk for longer, not much more time, but I can drop it at any time. And perhaps the 3 back there, too, might get to watch the fight, because they look very happy, but not like they're seeing much.
Perhaps we take this as a lesson for today. If someone steps out of crowd looking unassuming in normal clothing, and before you attack them is suddenly covered in giant suit of armor and is a foot taller, perhaps call off fight.
I release the hypnotic pattern.
And they all just stand there blinking. The one gladiator who hasn't get to have a go yet is like, oh yeah, is it over?
We can fight if you like.
Did we win? Come.
I could fight this one. No?
No, come, sit. You do not need lessons. I would speak with you all.
I pat the gladiator who didn't get to join in on the shoulder and go, next time, friend. And I pat the other one and go, sorry, I didn't mean to. Sorry.
That is quite all right. You hit quite hard for such a... Don't hit me again, please, for saying a small package. You are short of stature. But appearances can be, as is evident, incredibly deceiving. I am sorry for making the assumption that you would be a weak and easy pushover. Please allow me to try and make it up to you sometime, perhaps with a drink.
I would love a drink sometime. That sounds good. And also, you should be glad you didn't go up against Oriana, because she sets people on fire, and burns are much harder to heal.
Noted.
I let the armor go back down now, with my hair being red and bouncy goes point out the top while I'm talking.
I am Paolo. It is a pleasure.
Nice to meet you. My name is Dice.
Pretty.
Thanks.
I'm going to go and check that my ribs are not cracked.
I'm going to... Actually, I don't know if I can. At some point, I've accidentally removed my healing spells. Oh, no! I know why I did it. I'm going to pat him on the shoulder and cast Cure Wounds as I walk away. As an apology for beating him up.
So you'll go and sit back at the table with Dom. So, what one says of all of you is true. There is many surprises about you all.
Good surprises?
Yes. Spectacular, fantastic surprises. You will put on a great show. Bring much funding and fame for school.
We aim to please.
Well, we aim to please. And also, it's quite fun to fight someone and not be at risk of death.
There is
The
always...
lower stakes is a little bit... It does make indulging your skills a little bit more enjoyable.
It was so fun.
There is unfortunately, even in these bouts, always the risk of death. We train them
Was
as
once-
best we can to survive or to take the fall, but we cannot save everyone.
I was once killed by a beholder. It's not so bad.
You
We didn't enjoy it much.
you look quite good for it.
I was saved by a friend.
I
Nice
hope
to save me from death twice. Once on top of a train. It was very fun.
That's true. I did do that.
a train.
Yes, on the roof.
Yeah, we were traveling to Albion on a train.
Of course you were.
Big
So,
train.
we have a week to prepare for Frostbout. I would suggest staying within these walls, but you can prepare in any way you wish.
Dom, given the way we have wound up the Inquisitor today, I think stepping outside of these walls would be asking for trouble.
Da. For now, I have things to oversee. Please talk amongst yourselves. I will arrange ways in which you can be involved in the training, in the practice of the death blow, as it were.
I would enjoy that.
I also have to find out where Apolotheus is gone.
Again, ask Ori to drop him a message. I'm sure she would be happy to help.
We are having statue brought.
Could we not take Ariana to where the statue is rather than dragging the whole statue out of storage?
That would seem a better option.
Not in same building. Not in same
Okay.
compound.
I understand.
I see. Well, Ori still has her fight to do this afternoon anyway to show her skills, so perhaps the next day when her magic is refilled.
There is a lot
I'm
of...
not sure that the structure can take it.
Yeah, Dom kind of looks around. I agree with your friend Quill here. There is...
There's like wooden walls and there's like sawdust all over the arena to soak up the blood.
There is much
Seem-
flammable things here.
It's only a
Including-
5 foot.
Including the people, and also I'm covered in fur.
That's why Ori didn't join in with the last battle we had on the train together where we were fighting you.
Yes.
Oh,
Very smart.
Please
That was probably the last time I've had this much fun.
Right?
excuse me a moment. And Dom gets up and walks off and starts doing the rounds and talking to people, and people again start training around you. And you very quickly learn that there is, for most of these people, a very practiced rhythm to the way things work. Everyone falls into their slot, falls into their position quite quickly after the quite nice rest that your entertainment gave them.
I think people had fun watching us. What do you think?
Seem to.
I had so much fun. I would have liked to have fought one of the big ones. I think they saw me as weaker, so they gave me slightly smaller opponents.
I think it's
It was-
possibly just that you went third.
Ori shaking his head.
and if they did underestimate you, they won't do it a second time.
Purely based on maths, rules as written, that was a deadly encounter.
Oh dear. I feel bad for them. Hey, Quill, Ace, the one of the gladiators that I was fighting, the one that I woke up, not the one I left
Paolo, I
staring
heard.
into. I think he was hitting on me.
I think he was as well.
That was
I
a
don't
party.
really, I don't really know what to do with that. Like, the person I'm actually in love with, I may never see again. I don't even know where she is. I don't even know if she's still in this plane of existence at this point. I talk to her periodically, like once a day, but is that really a good way to maintain a relationship? I don't know what to do. Not that I'm saying I'm interested in Paolo the Gladiator necessarily. I just...
You're not sure if you're in a monogamous, committed relationship.
I think it's really hard to tell when you may never see the person that you love alive again.
Have you asked your paramour?
Fuck me, that's an awkward conversation to have in 20 words or less. Hey, by the way, how do you feel about me shagging other people? Are you shagging other people? Thanks, Dice.
Are we exclusive?
I don't know that you need to sign your messages.
I was being facetious, Quill. I don't know.
In fact, with your
Sometimes
knowledge
we
of
have-
magic, you absolutely know that you don't, because they automatically know who the person sending the message is.
Obviously, I know. I built the stones. It's not normal sending. It can only be me.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that was just one of the stones I got off the beholder. Not the point. I don't know.
It seems like a complicated situation.
It is, and not only may I never see her again, I literally don't know where she is. Most of her people are dead, and she's going to live basically forever. And I won't. I'll die. At some point, not imminently. I hope.
Well, I'm sure we all will.
I think given your circumstance, in that her existence is going to be much longer, that she wouldn't take offence to you wanting to live more.
I have to speak with her. It's going to be a very awkward conversation, I think. And
One
again,
that's needed.
not necessarily Paolo, but I'm only 18 years old. I do love her and I would like to see her again, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
You only have one life to live, Dice.
She has significantly more of my lives than I do.
Exactly.
On a side note, do you think they have alcohol here?
Yes.
It's worth asking.
As you ask that question out loud, one of the waiting staff comes over and drops a jug of wine on the table in front of you with some cups. Smiles.
Thank you.
That Paolo is sometimes a bit full of himself. It was quite nice to see him being taken down a peg or two.
He
Sounds
seems
like
to enjoy it too.
Perhaps one or two people in this compound have been a bit full of Paolo.
Oh, no. No. He's full of himself, but I have not seen him flirting much. But no, that was fun. The drink is on me. And
Thank you.
And he walks off.
I poke the wine to see it. I want to smell it, see if it's up to Quill's normal standards of wine. I'm going to assume it's not.
It's going to be swill.
Well, I'm not sure you're going to enjoy this quite as much as the wine in the horizon.
I think he can probably do something about that.
I'm not in the mood, actually.
Want to have a drink?
For wine?
Is everything okay?
I got my cousin killed.
I don't think you got your cousin killed. Sorry. I'm not sure you got your cousin
not
killed.
That time, Dice.
It was just... I said quilled. I'm not sure... Shut up, Owen. I'm not sure you got your cousin killed. I think the Inquisitor got your cousin killed. Working with the Illitids and having terrible plans got your cousin killed.
My cousin was a sad and weak person, but I think he could have turned his life around. I'm sad that what we made him do is what finally put him in this much danger. But it's like I said to him at the time, he made his own choices. They were bad ones.
I don't think that with what he knew, once his plans had been completed and the train built, I don't believe they would have allowed him to live anyway. Perhaps things could have been changed, and perhaps he could have been rescued, but your cousin was not that smart, and the High Inquisitor is not a man to leave loose ends.
No. Well, he's not it's complicated, right? I'm not he's certainly not my favorite family member, but he was a member of my family. I owe him something.
You saved
Vengeance
Quick.
might be the best thing I can give.
You saved Quickfang.
Hopefully we did. The Inquisitor doesn't seem like a man to give up after giving a threat.
He will find her very difficult to find. The Inquisitor has wanted to know the location of the place she's going for a very long time. But there are people out there who are smarter than him.
Let's ensure he doesn't live long enough to work it out.
Now that is a plan I can get behind. I am sorry for the loss of your cousin. He was
An
a
ass.
pompous asshole, but I'm sorry he died.
Yes. Well, nothing to do about it now. You lie down with dogs, you do get fleas.
That is true.
Usually that is true. I had forgotten. I'm sorry. I was having fun and
Yes,
forgot
no,
you would be sad.
it was a nice little diversion.
You did very well in your fight against Anu. He looked thoroughly beaten.
Well, perhaps it was a little unethical to go full spell slinging in that situation.
What's the point?
Yeah,
Did
but
you request that of you?
in a sparring match, perhaps I should have held back a little more. I was showing off. I like to show off.
I think they enjoyed it too.
As you look
And I-
up, Anu is currently doing backflips on the spot. So every time he flips, his hands land where his feet just left, and he seems to just be tumbling and spinning on the spot. He's fine. He's also
It's gonna make himself very dizzy.
he's also
It's like a
very much
there's like a
enjoying.
he's like doing, and as he does it, there's like a gnome bard pops up behind him, like, this beat is my recital.
Very bad.
But every time he does it, you can see he's also one to show off.
Yeah.
He does not seem to be that ill-affected by your battle.
I think had you gone lighter on him, you may have lost. He seems okay.
He was, he certainly hit quite hard when he did hit.
See, the trick is to trap them in a weird hypnotic void so they can't hit you in the first place.
I do actually have a spell where I could have trapped him in an impenetrable ball. And I thought about using it, but, you know, it seemed a little unsporting.
I did consider whether the use of hypnotic pattern was fair.
Oh no, I'm not saying that was unsporting. I'm saying that putting him in a big ball might have been just made for a fairly boring fight to watch, you know?
It's one to keep hold of for future though. If we come across anyone that we would.
Oh
prevent
yeah, yeah.
fight.
If there's any, if I have to fight people and there's anyone actually, dangerous who's planning to kill us, I wouldn't hesitate to put them in a little ball.
How big is the ball?
You've got Otterluck's resilient sphere.
Fully have, mate.
Fucking hell.
Great spell.
It is. It's
How big is the ball?
Amazing spell. Can affect
big is
up to a
the
large
sphere?
creature.
Yeah, they're about 10 feet in diameter.
So, you know that lightning lizard
In that.
that we fought? Oh, no, you weren't there for that. We fought this, like, large lightning creature thing. And I'm just wondering if it would fit.
Big
Was it
was
huge?
From your memory, no, the Bahir would have been too big to fit in the sphere. It's a huge creature.
I thought it was a large
Yeah,
creature.
for the here.
No, it's a huge creature.
I think the...
Hang on.
I thought it was large as well.
I thought it was a large creature.
He's gonna get a mini,
That definitely looks like a huge creature.
a big boy.
Big boy. Be here, be there, be wherever.
The here, the far, the where.
That might be the best line of the campaign. What you see is a Bahir. Is that a Bahir? Yeah. Could he be anywhere else?
That was a good one.
But yeah, as you wind down then,
I'm going to wind down.
raising a drink to Quill's cousin. And
Wouldn't go quite that far.
taking stock of your current situation. I will let you know now. You have a week, so 7 days, or
Downtime, baby.
of downtime. So I'll send you the links again if you want. Greg, you know what they are anyway. But you've got a week of downtime to choose how you wish to prepare, even if you do want to prepare for the fight, or if you want to do anything else. Break out of there in secret and go and do something, whatever you want to do.
Richard, we're not sepsis. Jeez.
Whatever you want to do. You've got a week. Let me know, obviously, during the week, or I'll chase you for it, and then I can do a bit of downtime exposition at the beginning of next session.
I would like to break out for one night to go and find some weak, innocent person and murder them. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's not...
Yeah, but Bryce kind of make you look a little old lady in the eye while you do it. Like he's
You'd be traumatized for weeks.
gonna make sure he completely ruins the whole thing for you by making you feel really guilty for it.
Making you remember that it's a person.
You didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't feel guilty. No, Sepsis didn't
I
feel
did.
guilty.
No, I felt guilty. Sepsis didn't feel shit.
Sepsis didn't give a care. Didn't give a care.
But
Yeah.
Not a single bother.
I was almost certain that Dice was just
What the
going to
heck was given that day?
do some tinkering.
Yeah, I've got plans, I'll tell you later.
Okay. But yes, with that, we've come to the end of session 74.
Taking a while to get from 73 to 74, but we did it eventually.
Yeah, it took a bit. It was a little
2
bit.
weeks?
Yeah.
3 weeks?
And we had a whole hospitalization and several other medical.
I was going to say a couple hospitalizations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting couple of months, guys. We're not going to lie.
Yeah. But we
Look it
are
up.
obviously endeavouring to try and play as much as we possibly can.
Get back to a little bit more regularity.
We've got another
We've
game.
got another one of the other game coming up in not too long. We'll have to talk about when.
What did we say? Third Sunday of every month?
Third Sunday of the month, I think, was the plan. Yeah,
So not next week, not the week after that.
that's
Cool.
That would be my belief. Yes.
Yeah.
So
I'm-
2 more Nidums, and there
I'm-
should be 2 more Nidums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so looking forward to playing.
17th.
Yeah.
This third Sunday this month.
This is how I enjoyed this. I very much enjoyed this because obviously I've got you guys who are like, every once in a while it'll be like, in a few levels, can I do this? In a few levels, can I do this? Do you reckon I could take the character down this road? Could I do this with it? Is this a
But
possibility?
you've already done that to me on your for your character on the other
Literally,
campaign.
was it the next day?
Literally
The day.
haven't finished level 1 yet, and he's immediately like, "Hey, I'm thinking of doing this down the line." Yeah, I'm sure you can.
I was so
Well,
excited.
that'll be fine.
I was so
When we get to
excited.
that, like,
Oh no, even from session 1, I thought, ooh, I like the feel of this. I like where it's going. I could do this.
Yeah.
This would work. Right, okay. Greg, can I?
Yeah.
For the record, I haven't done that. I go with the flow. My characters do as they want to. They make their own decisions. I just go along for the ride.
But I'm very much looking forward to it. Also, I will message Nikki and Stu this week, and we will continue to play. Hopefully this week we'll have another session of the Heroes of Icespire. Can't call it the Dragon of Icespire Peak anymore because that guy's dead.
yeah,
Because
he done
Fully
dead.
dead.
they killed him. So the Heroes of Icespire, who now find themselves in the murky, perpetually dark land of Barovia. I can't fucking wait.
Just as a last thing as well, I know people were sad that we missed so many weeks. So we just want you to know, we miss it too.
Yes.
It's not just you guys. We really do want to play. It's just sometimes life gets in the way.
And we missed you guys. And I have a very slightly addictive personality. And Greg bought me Tarkov for my birthday. And no matter how much it frustrates me that I can't stream it, I can't stop playing it.
It's a very good game.
It's a fucking horrible game. It makes you
can't
depressed
stream
and anxious and angry and.
His computer won't run it and stream it at the same time.
But I keep going back to Tarkov, man. I just can't help it.
I think one night a week he should play another game so he can come and see you guys. But
Yes, I absolutely.
he'll think about it.
I'm thinking about starting Baldur's Gate 3 from the beginning again, because apparently now you can free.
Because you've run out of ideas for this campaign.
Because apparently now you can free Shadowheart on the ship and have a large party to try and complete Act 1. So, yeah, I'm going to go back and try You're an asshole. But
you
yes.
knew that, and you're still his friend. Like, you
Yeah,
can't
very,
complain
very
about it.
strange decisions you guys make.
Mm-hmm. If you weren't an asshole, I'd wonder what I'd done wrong.
Yeah.
But yes, we've missed you too, Viggy and Ian and everyone else who's watched.
Yeah.
We will return. We will play more. We're not streaming the one you're going to do for Feywild, are we?
No.
Cool.
No,
All
that's
right.
a different one.
Well, I get to play more D&D. You don't get to watch it, but I get to play more D&D. I'm happy. But yes, as always, take care. Stay safe. Thanks very much to those who have watched. Thanks very much to those who will. Take care. Stay
Links
safe.
are in the chat for the sponsors.
Links are in the chat. Yes, thank you always to Lucky Battle Mats, Blink Dog Dice.
Reminder.
You won't stream it because my personality is too powerful. That's what it is, Owen.
The real reason is I won't stream it because I'm concerned that Owen's going to have a heated gamer moment.
But yes.
Phasmo for Spooky Month. We will see if Charlie's up for it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Ooh, yeah. Halloween Phasmo.
Charlie would love to play Phasmo with you guys.
Yes.
We would love to play Phasmo with her.
Phasmo. But apart from that, as always,
New scary
we love you guys, and we will see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.